cardio can be great for fat loss for about 2 to 3 weeks. After 4 weeks, absolute waste of time. What do you think?
I strongly agree. The body adapts really quickly to energy expenditure in that way.
About 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah, that's what the data shows, right?
And it takes, so 8 to 12, you get benefits of stamina training. So when we look at it for, if you want to endurance train and get better, like that makes
that's your form of training.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But most people are using it as a source to reduce body fat.
Yep.
And if that's the main goal, you get great benefits for about 2 to 3 weeks. After that, it sharply declines and becomes almost a waste of time and can be counterproductive.
Yeah. Well, you know what? You're going to get a lot of people right now who are like, well, I lost tons of weight by doing lots of running. Now, usually this is in combination with cutting their calories. But what they don't realize, and we've talked about this at least 1,000 times, is that form of exercise with a reduction in calories is a recipe for muscle loss.
That's right.
Yeah.
It really is. Now, people might ask why. Why does cardio or running plus a calorie deficit, why does that cause muscle loss? Is it that you're burning the muscle while you're doing all this exercise? No, that's not what's happening. It's actually quite hard to burn muscle in that way. What's happening is the body has, because cardio does burn a lot of calories. So this is where people start the debate,
especially at the beginning.
Yes, but comparison to other forms of exercise, it's the highest calorie burn. Yeah. But what happens when you're burning lots of calories and you're cutting your calories, and the form of exercise that you're doing is not telling your body we need strength and muscle, the body learns how to reduce its caloric output.
It needs to be more efficient,
and so it pares muscle down. So it's like 40%. Of your body weight loss is muscle, which sucks. You lost 10 pounds, 4 of it was muscle, and now you're left with a, for lack of a better term, slower metabolism, which makes things a little harder.
People disregard that we're adaptation machines where your body's going to adjust to that type of a stimulus, especially cardio, those type of demands. Like if we're just like depriving ourselves of this energy, like the first signal really is to like hold on to that energy and not expend it so frivolously. So it's if you think of that in that lens, it kind of makes sense why at a certain point you kind of hit that hard plateau.
This is how I would tell competitors if you had a good coach or not. It's so common in the space that these competitive coaches put their athletes, their competitors, on cardio 12 weeks out from a show.
Yeah.
And I would tell them it's a terrible strategy. We are far better off manipulating it with calories and just regular activity like movement, walking around, until we get to those final couple weeks where we would start to ramp up the cardio just before. And then it's so new. It's a new stimulus to the body that it responds really well for those 2 to 3 weeks. Then after that, to your point, it adapts. It becomes efficient, and then stamina building happens. But part of what's happening when you start to build stamina, endurance, and you get good at it is the body's becoming more efficient at it, which is saying, hey, we don't need all this muscle to do all this running that the body's asking us to do. Let's get rid of some of this muscle because it's not efficient to have all
By
this.
the way, just to be clear, before anybody gets up in arms, it's a form of exercise done properly. It's healthy. So we're not saying it's not healthy. We're not saying it's not a good form of exercise if you want to improve stamina and endurance. We're not saying don't ever do cardio. What we're talking about here is fat loss.
And it's a terrible strategy.
By the way, there are great studies that compare strength training to cardio for weight loss. Weight loss, cardio wins. Fat loss, strength training wins. What do I mean by that? Cardio in a weight loss protocol or a fat loss protocol induces muscle loss. It does enhance, it actually creates more muscle loss, almost like, or maybe even worse than just a pure calorie deficit. Whereas strength training preserves muscle, and in some cases, if the calorie deficit's not too big and you have high protein, you'll see some muscle building through this process. So as far as fat loss is concerned, it's really a terrible approach. Now, if you use cardio as a way to improve your health and you want more endurance or more stamina, great, go for it. But if your number one goal is like, I want to lose body fat, you're better off doing other forms of exercise, in particular strength training, and then the diet.
This is why I always like to introduce normal person, not just talking about competitors, introduce cardio after my client has achieved their aesthetic goal.
Yeah.
So if a client came to me and they had a bunch of body fat they wanted to lose, cardio was not a part of the protocol until we got closer to basically where they wanted to be.
Yeah.
And then it would be to either one, sharpen up a tiny bit, or because they're like, hey, I want more endurance, more stamina. I've now reduced that body fat. I'm now at a place where I feel healthy and balanced. Now I want to improve that. It's great. Now let's bump your calories and let's introduce cardio. So now you're more fed and you get to build some stamina and you have the body you want.
Yeah.
It's not something that I would use as a tool just to get the body fat off. It's a terrible strategy to do that, because now if I did it that way, by the way, too, and let's say you did have success, which is what happens to a lot of some of these competitors that do out 2 hours of it every single day to get ready for
in spite of that.
And not only that, but now in order to maintain that body that they've now achieved, they've got to maintain the 2 hours of cardio every single day, which is unrealistic and they're not going to do, which is why there's this massive rebound afterwards. And they put all because they stop doing that instantly. And then there's this huge difference in calorie burn. And so this is such a terrible strategy, and yet everybody seems to do it, even at the competitive level. And it really should. In fact, there's been competitors that we never did cardio, that we got all the way down to stage presence, like body fat percentage, and never had to get on the elliptical and sweat, or the Stairmaster and sweat like crazy. We did it just through managing steps and calorie reduction, or through, even better, building your metabolism up, building a ton of muscle first, and then coming down.
It's so funny. So earlier today, we had a caller on that had done in the past 5 Ironman competitions and a bunch of half Ironmans. And for people who aren't familiar, an Ironman competition is insane. It's like a 2.5 mile almost
grueling
swim. It's 112 mile bike ride, and then you run a marathon. That's the whole competition. So a marathon by itself, what is it, 26 miles? You do that at the end of all the other crazy stuff. So it's just insane. It's crazy endurance training. I've had a few Ironman competitors as clients, and if I remember correctly, so one of them was a man. He weighed about 165 pounds, kind of your typical, what you would consider your ideal Ironman physique, okay? He was consuming, with all the training, now you're talking about, tens of miles of running and swimming. This guy was, 2 to 3 hours every single day, sometimes more, of exercise to prepare for this intense, crazy competition. This guy was eating about 3,500 calories a day to fuel his body. So this is a 165-pound man, 3,500 calories a day, in order to fuel this type of training. And his body fat was relatively lean. He was fit. He was probably walking around 10, 11% body fat. He was doing everything right. We did a little bit of strength training just kind of support what he was doing. I'm 220-pound guy, so I have a lot more lean body mass, same body fat. My activity level is probably 1/100th of his. If I strength train, it's 3 or 4 days a week, 45 minutes. I don't do any of that other stuff. We're sitting down 90% of the day in the studio, and I eat probably 500 more calories a day than he does. Just giving an idea of the difference there. Now, of course, there's genetic variance, all that stuff, but that's a lot of activity. He should be burning, if you did the math, insane amounts of calories through that activity. But his body learned, and your body will learn how to become efficient with calories. If you're asking your body to become efficient with calories, simultaneously telling it, we don't need a lot of muscle.
Well, that caller we had was eating 2,500 calories to maintain where he was at, and very, very active, high training volume, all the things. And another way to show this example is this, Sal, and show you how different how much you can manipulate your metabolism is Michael Phelps, 10,000 calories. Yeah. So you have this, like, the body is unbelievably efficient. Yeah. And if you don't give it a lot of calories and you do all this crazy activity, it will learn and it will adapt to that. But you could also get away with feeding it unbelievably when you have somebody like that that's doing that much activity. So how can people be that far off from each other? Well, that's just an example of like how crazy adaptive the metabolism is. Is that if you continue to put it in a deficit and you push the body more and more and more and trying to burn your way down, eventually it completely slows down. That's why it's a terrible strategy for fat loss.
Make it really clear, the best way to view exercise is what kind of physical adaptation does this exercise induce? And that's when I'll use the exercise.
What's it best for? What's that specific exercise best for?
Yes. And then diet you should look at for health, fueling, and then manipulate your diet for fat loss or muscle gain. Okay. So that's what you do. Now, can you look at exercise through the lens of fat loss? Well, you can, because when you look at your diet and you're eating in a way to lose body fat, which means you're in what's called a calorie deficit, you're eating less calories than you're burning. Well, the form of exercise I should pick, if my goal is aesthetic, if my goal is primarily aesthetic, I want to lose body fat, well, I'm going to try and pick the form of exercise that's going to mitigate or block or stop or reverse whatever negative effects a calorie deficit can cause. Well, what's one of the negative effects of a calorie deficit? Muscle loss. Consistent. You go into calorie deficit, you will lose weight. A significant amount of that weight will be muscle loss. It happens across the board. So which form of exercise should I pick? The one that's going to build endurance and stamina, the one that's going to build, let's say, flexibility, the one that's going to build strength. That's the one right there, the strength building form of exercise, because it directly counters what happens with the calorie deficit. And again, this is why you see in the studies for pure fat loss as a percentage of body weight loss, especially, strength training is superior. And why cardio should not even be, when clients would come to me and I'd work with them, if they told me specifically, look, and they're not working out at all, I want to get healthier. Cool. Okay. Check. What else you want? Sure. Fat loss. Check. This is what we're going to do. We're going to start with strength training. Why? Well, because strength training is going to give you some stamina. If you're sedentary now, it's going to give you some stamina.
For sure.
And endurance. It's going to improve your health. It's going to do those things. And it's going to help with the fat loss. Now, if a client came to me and says, I want to go play basketball, I want to swim, I want to run, like I need that kind of stamina, cardio is going to be a part of their protocol. Strength training will still be a part of the protocol, but cardio now is a part of the protocol. Yeah. I don't look at it for fat loss.
There's a lot of indirect benefits, the cardio as well. It's like, especially if we're talking about fat loss, like for the endurance component to kind of revisit like some of your workouts and have that bit of stamina to go through, and so it's like, it's not something that you totally eliminate per se. But if you're trying to like be specific and like this is your targeted goal of, fat loss is the most objectively, that's what I'm seeking the most. Like it's not going to be your best tool for the tool.
Have you been on a weight loss journey, starving, grinding on cardio, and you're still not losing fat? The How to Lose Fat in 3 Steps guide is completely free, and it lays out the real blueprint: strength training, metabolic support, and sustainable eating. Skip the misery. Download the free guide now and burn fat the right way. We also have a new MAPS bundle, the Spring Bundle, MAPS Symmetry, MAPS Prime, and the Advanced Training Techniques Guide. All of that over 50% off. It's only $147. Go to mapsmarch.com. Here comes the show.
So we get confusion, even from this podcast, even though we've been saying this forever, when it's somebody who says, I want both.
Yeah.
Because then that's where they feel like they're lost. Well, I don't just care about aesthetics. I also want endurance and want that. But the answer to that is still focus on the aesthetic first, and then we can go build the stamina. Yeah. Like you're far better off doing that than trying to do both of them at the same time. It'd be far more, because to your point, while we're lifting weights and building muscle, that's right, you're going to get some stamina.
If you're sedentary right now, just strength training is going to give you the stamina and endurance.
That's right. Well. It's going to give you some of that, and it's going to start to build the metabolism, and it's going to get the body fat off. And and so it's going to benefit you in that. And then after you're in that position where you're like, okay, I've gotten to a place where I'm happy. Now let's go after more endurance and more stamina. You're way better off than saying, how do I do both at the same time? Doing both at the same time, you're going to be robbing Peter to pay Paul all the time.
Yeah. The problem, I think the big problem, I've said this a lot in the past, the big issue is that people look at fat loss as just a math problem. That's the way they view it.
Yeah.
Calories in versus calories out, which that's true. Okay, there's a trueness there.
Just deficit.
But it's not explaining how that works. It's not breaking down the nuances and how the human metabolism works and how hormones affect all that stuff. But yes, it is true that math problem is a part of it. Now, here's where it gets messed up. All right, if it's calories in versus calories out, well, the form of exercise I'm going to pick is the one that increases the calorie burn the most. So that should be the best one.
Right.
But that's not the full story, because yes, running for 45 minutes will burn probably 3 times as many calories as traditional strength training will for 45 minutes. It's true. But we're taking out the adaptation piece. Like, what does that exercise induce as far as adaptation is concerned with the body? When you consider that, well, the picture becomes much more clear. It's not just about how many calories you burn. It's about the adaptations. Does that help me burn more calories later on my own? Does that cause me to have to continue doing the activity in order to burn the calories? Or is my body figuring it out? And does it solve the muscle loss problem? Is it going to fix the muscle loss problem that's caused by a calorie deficit? When you consider all of those things, the picture gets much, much more clear. But if it's just calories in versus calories out, let's just burn more calories, you're going to end up in a terrible plateau, which is what happens to a lot of people where, they want to lose 30 pounds. So they just burn a lot of calories on a treadmill. They cut their calories. They get 15 pounds off. Then they hit this really hard plateau. By the way, the 15 pounds includes 7 pounds of muscle. Then they're in this really hard plateau, and then they're left like this. And I know, listen, if you're listening, and this has probably happened to a significant percentage of people listening right now who've tried to lose weight in the past. You hit this plateau, and then you're here. Okay, I guess I got to work out more. And I got to eat less, but I'm already working out a lot. My schedule's kind of crazy. I'm doing 4 days a week of running or whatever. My calories are already low. I already don't like my diet. I'm already hungry. I guess to lose the next 15 pounds, I got to increase my activity, drop my calories some more. And some of you, because you're really disciplined, hardworking, you go, all right, let's go for it. And you do it. And then you drop another 7 pounds, another 3 pounds of that is muscle. Now you're left with whatever, you're down maybe 9 more pounds of body fat to lose. But now you're in this place where like, this sucks.
Yeah.
I hate this. I'm doing all this work. I'm eating salads and chicken breasts and, white rice. And I still don't feel like I look the way I should with all this work and all this restriction with my diet. To hell with it. I want to enjoy my life.
Any logical person ends up saying, I'm already not happy with where I'm at.
Yeah.
I'm doing all this shit.
Yeah, this sucks.
I'd rather be eating what I wanted, being lazy, and feeling a little bit fluffier the other way. It's such an extreme difference. It's I blame our space.
Oh, totally.
I mean, wellness hippy dippy side pitted against the heavy science side that wants to just tout law of thermodynamics. I mean, and so you have the consumer who's like, that feels like they have to identify with one or the other. Either I totally identify with the wellness hippy dippy person and that's more me, or I'm super science guy, it's law of thermodynamics. And so it's definitely just calories in, calories out. That's what matters. And it's like,
meanwhile, a lot of people are like, none of this is working.
That's right.
I remember when I first was working in gyms. So I started working in gyms at 18. Like you guys, we were all young when we started working in gyms. And when you work in a gym and you love it, you're there all day long. And so if you're there long enough, after 6 months, you see your regulars, okay? You recognize your regular members. And I remember, I'm in the gym. I'm in there all the time. When I was first started, man, I loved it so much. I was there literally 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., 6 or 7 days a week. I'm always in there. And I would see these regulars that would come in. They'd check themselves in. I knew their names. Hi, how you doing? They'd go get changed, come out, and they'd hop on the Stairmaster, and they'd be there for an hour.
Yep.
And they would be there all the time. And after I was there after a year, I'd see the same, and they looked no different.
No different.
They'd look exactly, and what I mean by looking the same is they were probably 20 to 25 pounds overweight, sweating their butts off on these
Such
machines.
a mystery for me when I was a young trainer.
Yeah, it was crazy.
The other one, which I think was even more of a mystery to me, which blew my mind, were the Group X instructors.
Oh,
yeah, that too.
Who taught 4 or 5 classes a day.
And they had
You see them
15
there
and
sweating
were
and moving.
drenched in sweat and and they looked out of shape.
Yeah.
And you're like, there's no way she would bury me in that class.
Yeah.
Like, I know she's working out, and you think, God, she must eat terrible.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, she must go right out of here, right to Burger King, and just like hammer food.
So you know what I used to do?
It wasn't that.
So what I used to do is, because that's what I thought.
I remember when I first trained, I first got my first Group X instructor.
When I was an early trainer, I thought, man, those members must eat the worst diets ever. But then you get to know them, you talk to them, and I talked to one guy, and they knew I was a trainer and then a fitness manager, and so I was talking diet. And the first guy's telling me what he's eating, and you know what I'm thinking? Lies. There's no way that's what you're eating. There's no way.
Underestimating.
And then I talked to another one. Same thing. Lies. By the 4th or 5th one, I was like, are they all lying to me? This can't be right. This doesn't make any sense. Meanwhile, I'm a trainer, personal training people, and I'm focused on strength training, mainly because at the time, as a trainer, what a waste of time to have a client do cardio while I'm watching.
I know. It's like, get them strong at least.
So strength training, let me take you out in the gym and I'm watching my clients get leaner, get more fit.
Yeah.
They're eating more than the people in the cardio. And then I started to piece this together. Maybe it's the form of exercise. And same thing with my Group X instructors.
To them. But yeah, it's so funny because you look back at that. I was so confused by it. I'm like, why is this working? Like, because to your earlier points of like the whole math problem, it's like calories in out. So you start looking at things that burn. And so you look at, and then we used to like track it, and we we're like, okay, whatever it's telling me on the cardio equipment, like you could see it, this is actually burning whatever 250 calories or some like arbitrary number that's probably not even close to being accurate. No. And then you look it up, and then you look at this, I forget whatever book it was, it would start like highlighting calculating each exercise, what you actually burn from weight training, and it wasn't even close. And so you start leaning more towards like the cardio to handle the fat to then build them up in the strength once you get the fat off.
I know, it was wild.
This is why the Stairmaster got so popular, because of the calorie burn.
Because on the machine itself,
Like,
it gave you the highest number.
Yeah, and people get drenched in sweat.
Which, by the way, people need to know this.
Yeah.
Cardio manufacturers would change the number.
Hustle.
Once they realized that people would pick the cardio that showed the highest calorie burn, because nobody checks, nobody cares. It's not like a scientist come in and go, oh, actually elliptical is burning. They just put it up there. So they would literally, cardio manufacturers would make sure that their machines showed higher calorie burn because they knew that more people would use it.
Did you hear the clip, or did you listen to the clip of Dorian Yates?
Oh, where he was talking to Huberman?
Yeah.
So I watched some of that.
Did you watch what he talked about, how he does his cardio?
No.
6 minutes?
No.
Oh, I wish you would have watched it.
No, I didn't see that one.
That's why I sent it to you, guy.
Well, you know why? Because I saw so many clips.
It was only a minute and a half you had to listen to.
It's too long.
He taught, maybe Doug could pull it up, because it's literally only a minute and a half for us to listen to, because I was super intrigued by this. And I guess there is a, they call it 1 minute, I think, 1 minute of cardio. And it is 3 bouts of all out 20 seconds. So it ends up being, it's called 1 minute cardio, but it's 6 total minutes. And it's basically 3.
So it's interval essentially.
It's 3 20-second all outs. And he breaks down like the benefits and this research to compare it to like an hour worth of cardio.
Yeah.
And the amount of calorie burn and benefits and everything that you get, and I believe that it's called. And I'm
not familiar with that specifically.
I have never,
but I am familiar with the data around that form of cardio.
Yeah, I'm familiar with like the data around HIIT cardio. We've talked about this before. I'm familiar. I've never heard of this, and I heard Dorian Yates talking about it with Huberman.
It's got huge VO2 max benefits, health benefits, stamina benefits. Here's the problem though. If you take most everyday people and you have them sprint all out for 20 seconds, it's inappropriate for them. It's just a fact, you guys.
Well, he's actually pitching it on the what your thing you like.
Oh, the elliptical?
No. No, what you really like. Your
assault bike?
Assault bike. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
It's I don't think it's inappropriate because of the technique.
Yeah, assault bike would make sense.
I think it's inappropriate.
Did you find it, Doug, for me?
Yeah, I found a clip.
Oh, I have it if you don't have it. So
okay.
You still got
cardio anyway.
Play it because I want Sal to hear it, and so we
got to hear it.
Yeah, we're gonna play it.
Yeah,
I'll play the one you sent.
Yeah,
and you can just clip it in, Dylan.
Yeah, I just thought, it made me want to go listen to the whole interview so I could hear Huberman and him go back and forth on it. But what caught my attention was, comparing it to like a whole hour of cardio. I thought was really fascinating and done on that bike. For your point, risk versus reward.
No, it's not the technique that I'm worried about. It's literally the exertion.
The average. Well, yeah, he's like, watch.
Here goes.
My favorite because it engages every muscle. Push, pull, legs. If you do a 20-second all out, you got on the side of the thing, you can see how much watts you're generating. So now you have a target to hit or exceed every time. So do a minute and a half warm up, whatever. Feel warm, all out, balls out like the devil's chasing you for 20 seconds. First one's tough, but it's okay. Go down slowly for a minute, do the second one all out. The second one's really tough, yeah? The third one is, I've never met anybody that wants to do one after the third one, yeah? Because literally you can't breathe. And the benefits from that, again, I think there's a book called The 1 Minute Cardio. It's a bit tricky because it's not really 1 minute. It's 1 minute of sprints, but it's 6 minutes in total. And they compared that to 45 minutes of steady cardio on a treadmill or whatever it is. And the results are more or less the same.
Yeah. So
it's 45 minutes. I thought it was 60, but still,
yes, but think of the typical client, the average 40-something-year-old that comes in and train with our trainers and have them go all out 20 seconds.
No.
It's not going to be good.
I found
someone who's really fit, healthy.
Yeah, I found this more interesting for us.
Yes.
So
that's totally.
Yeah, my average client, we're all huge fans of steps and lists, right? Like getting them on there for 45 minutes, just the movement of that. I think there's lots of benefits just moving.
It's also recuperative.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The benefits of moving the body for 45 minutes. But coming from this, I'm like, oh, this is an interesting strategy. And I've actually never heard.
You know what's funny about that?
I was doing that just kind of intuitively anyways. Well, it's basically HIIT training from how he's describing it. I might have gone a little longer than that, but just because the assault bike, it isn't as like impact driven. So it's not like quite as bad. But yeah, your average person doesn't even know how to move fast yet.
No.
But you have to get all the
Here's the other thing too.
Cursors to that.
For a lot of people, I'm one of these. Because I know the way they're selling it. 6 minutes versus 45 minutes, right? Oh my God, I'd much rather do 6. I wouldn't. I'd much rather do 45 minutes and listen to something and go, you tell me to do something like that, I got to psych myself
and there's to your point, there's a lot of recuperative benefits to moving the body for, right. I mean, one of my favorite things to walk when I walk 45 minutes is post-meal. And so I'm getting the digestive benefits. I'm getting the meditative benefits. It's relaxing to actually do that. Like, so there's a calming part that, and I, to the conversation that we just had, I feel like getting people to de-stress and calm down, that is definitely not a strategy for that. Thought it was interesting. I still don't think that would ever change my recommendation for.
But for fit, healthy people, it could be something interesting. I know Justin would love that because he's got 2 gears. All out or stop.
That's probably why I was inclined to do that. Yeah, that or like jump rope or punching and kicking stuff.
How can I do cardio angrily?
Everything angry. Yeah, but then like. Yeah, even as I get older now, it's like in the conversation we just had talking about like the amount of time throughout your day you should be in parasympathetic. Yeah. And think about that, like just the little stuff that you don't think is like compounding on the stress you already have. Like just looking at your phone and carrying that all day long. You're really not in good parasympathetic state unless you're intentionally doing it.
Totally. I can't wait for the audience to hear that interview that we just did. I thought that was a really fun.
Yeah, that one got me a bit.
Good conversation, from a doctor from both sides, right? So really cool to hear and just validate too what we communicate a lot to the people that call into this show. Yeah. And we get a lot of flack from our space, normally from young, naive trainers that think they're really smart. These guys are always telling people do less. And
well, you know what that comes from?
Because you're weak.
It's lack of experience.
Bunch of boomers. Get your canes out.
Scott's he's a doctor. He's a licensed physician, but he also works in preventative. And he works with a lot of people. And if you're a trainer and you've been training people for a decade and you work with a lot of people, you're going to sound like us. That's this. You have that experience. But if you're young and you're new and you just became a trainer and you're just reading the science and you just train yourself and you're 23 years old or whatever, you're going to be like, no, get after it. That's what you got to do because that's what works. Yeah. And it's like, that's not how it really works in the real. Dorian Yates is, I love Dorian. And all respect. I mean, he's
a character, dude.
He's one of my. I grew up in the '90s, and that's when I was into bodybuilding. And he was Mr. Olympia, and he's awesome. But he communicates strength training from his lens, and he does a good job. And it's hard to argue against the guy that won Mr. Olympia, that many times. Yeah. But he argues it from that lens, and basically says anything around volume with training, anything around frequent, like it's all garbage. It's only intensity. And I mean, I'd hate to tell him to his face because he'd be like, "I won Mr. Olympia. What about you?" But that's not the truth. That's not the real truth. There's some value in what he says. Yeah, but that's not.
Yeah, it's the full story. It's a small. Like that's again. That was interesting to me. For me, like I thought that was an interesting.
Did you hear Dorian talk crap about Israetel?
No.
So Mike Israetel, somebody asked Israetel about Mike Mentzer and about his method of training. And so the way that Israetel countered it, he was trying to be funny, is he's like, he did a little science, right? And then, because Mike Mentzer is like the originator, one of the bodybuilders that popularized that style of training, where it's like one set, all out.
Heavy duty, right?
That's it, and then you're done.
Duty,
right?
Hard style
and so he's like, and I look way better than Mike Mentzer. And he got blasted for that. So everyone's like, you look like a fat piece of crap compared to Mike Mentzer and Dorian just roasted. Like, if you're going to debate a bodybuilder about science, what you don't bring up is if you look how better.
They look.
Because that's why they're pro bodybuilders. I know. So that's like, you're going to lose the argument, bro. No matter how good your science is.
I got to fight. Was it on that interview or was it a different one?
Yeah, dude. I think it was that one, but I heard him in some other interviews where he's
funny.
Yeah, he's talking crap. Like,
you said you think that Huberman worked with him. Is that true? Do you know?
I believe Dorian trained Huberman for a couple sessions or something like that. So they have a
It'd be
relationship.
like your dream.
If I just want to hang out with them.
That's
I
what I
don't
mean.
wanna-
That's
yeah.
why of course, I don't think because he's going to teach you so much about fitness.
You know, that's a
and
good
health.
question. Is
think
there
he would-
anybody at this stage of our life?
Hell no.
There's nobody
Hell
you
no.
would
Hell no.
like. You would want to.
I don't even like to
train.
work out with somebody, much less I want someone telling me what to work
I
out.
know.
Like, fuck off. Are you kidding me? I don't even want to work out with you. Much less you tell me what I need to do. Stop it.
Isn't that funny?
Well, I mean,
that's like the
listen.
first thing like people want to do. Is
You're
Like there's no like pro athlete. There's nobody. that you would
There's
think-
nobody. Okay. Unless there is. Okay. Unless you were like, okay, you admitted your stuff that you're going through right now. Like, I could see you hiring me or somebody, not because I'm going to teach you something, but because for the
You're gonna make me do what I want.
Yeah, right. The psychological accountability.
you know him best, right? It's like
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, I
That's
know
exactly where I won't.
Yeah, exactly. and it's not because I'm going to teach you anything, right?
Yeah.
Or even tell you, but I would tell you what you know you already need to do, I think. And so I
Yeah.
think that would be the only reason why I would see.
But you know what I mean? There's no like celebrity, like bodybuilder, athlete that you'd be like, not really, huh?
No.
Yeah, no,
I can't think of it. Yeah,
and it's not because I know more than the person.
Well, you
I
know
just don't
who?
care.
I tell you what. Maybe
I'd rather have a conversation.
Maybe. So
Like learning
I
a
think of like a
skill,
conversation like a Scott who we just had with.
Oh.
Like he's not going to teach me anything in the weight room.
No.
But having him like.
Break down your health.
Yeah,
and your labs and stuff.
like
like
tell
in between sets, he's like just educating you.
educating me on like take this today because you're
Yeah.
gonna go fly and do this, and then tomorrow do like I could geek out on that.
Do you guys want to know what my wife told me I should hire to train me?
Who?
Corinne.
Oh wow.
She's like, you should hire Corinne. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, she's going through
Well, I
the
mean,
thing,
indirectly, that's
and she
hiring
would
me.
tell you, and
I mean,
she
indirectly,
knows that you'd be the worst person. We get in a fight, dude. Is what would happen.
No
Like,
way,
oh,
no
bro,
way.
you would leave and be so frustrated with me.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, you would. You get frustrated with me anyway. Let alone try to train me, dude.
I don't know. I
That
feel
might
like
be a little volatile. I don't know. Just as an outsider.
I feel like you would. I feel like Corinne would be too nice and sweet. Like you need someone to
Which
tell
is why
you.
I would do what she says. Because I would, because I know I could dominate
Sal
her.
will rebel, dude.
Yeah. when she leaves, I go do something else. I'd be that client. No, I didn't do any extra exercise.
Yeah,
That's not what's happening.
She's like, you sure look like you're pumped to me.
Yeah, no, dude. Hey, you guys, so they just dropped so Retatrutide.
Oh, is it out officially?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
It's not
you guys know.
Try.
This is a GLP-3.
Yeah.
Okay, so
the builds muscle and
the first GLP drugs were what are called GLP-1s. Okay, so they act on
the third agonist
one
now.
receptor. I'm not going to get into science mainly because I don't understand it. Then there's the GLP-2s. So you have semaglutide as a GLP-1. Tirzepatide is a GLP-2. In the studies, tirzepatide causes more weight loss. So of course,
and less muscle loss.
and less muscle loss. So then the companies are like, well, can we hit more
keep
receptors?
going. Yeah.
Can we hit more receptors? So retatrutide you can only get it as a research chemical right now. I don't recommend you do that. You don't know what you're getting. But it's in the studies, and then there's lots of bodybuilders and people we know,
Of course.
who've used it. But they've come out with the trials, and you want to know what's crazy about these trials?
Let's hear it.
Oh,
Is
and
this with humans and not just rats?
this is human trials. So you get phase 2 trials. In fact, I think I saved some of an article on it, dude. It's actually a commercial for Retatrutide.
So if it's in phase 2, Sal, what's realistic when you can get it through a real pharmacy? How far out?
they've got
what's the prediction on that?
They still have to go through phase. No, it's actually phase 3. Sorry, it was a phase 3 trial. So depending on how the FDA views these trials, it'll if it passes, then it can become a drug. It can be something that we can
Now,
prescribe.
Ozempic, Mounjaro, are they all still on GLP-1, or have they actually jumped on the GLP-2?
Semaglutide and tirzepatide are the chemical names. I don't know what the brand. I know Ozempic is semaglutide. I think Mounjaro's tirzepatide, if I'm not mistaken.
No, look that up because I don't know if they've jumped to tirzepatide yet.
Oh, tirzepatide.
No, some have.
Yeah.
Have they?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No. I know you can get those. but-
No, actually a big brand.
Okay, that's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering because last I knew Ozempic was still messing with semaglutide.
No, yeah, semaglutide is
semaglutide,
that's the
however
first
the hell you
one.
say it.
That's the first one. that came
Yes.
out. Okay. So Retatrutide came out, and they're doing research on it, and it's called, and again, it's a GLP-3, and phase 2 trials are crazy. Phase 3 trials come out. Bro, just trip off this, okay? a significant percentage of the people dropped out of the study. So these are participants.
What do you mean dropped it? Why?
They quit. This is one of the things of a trial. Will people drop out because of side effects or because of? Do you want to know why? Okay. So a significant percentage dropped out because, you ready for this?
Yeah.
Excessive weight loss. They were losing too much weight. That's like a commercial. Like that's going to sell.
That's crazy.
Yes, because it caused such a crazy amount of weight loss. Now, the bodybuilders and the people I know who take retatrutide, they're like comparing it to tirzepatide and semaglutide. They're like, it's Godzilla in comparison. It's so effective. So I have a friend who did a bodybuilding competition, went on retatrutide. What does that say right there?
Yeah, so Zepbound and Mounjaro are tirzepatide.
Okay, so that means Ozempic is still using the original one, huh?
Yeah.
They're way behind.
So
And overdosing.
yeah, so
a lot of people.
So what I think they're going to do is mess with the doses, maybe lower the dose because it's so powerful or whatever. But I have a buddy who did a bodybuilding competition. He did retatrutide, and he's like, dude. He goes, and now, by the way, you're talking about pro bodybuilding. These guys are insane with how low the calories get, the cardio. It's just insane. They're hitting stage, shredded. It's not healthy. He's like, dude. He goes, this guy's done a lot of competition. I'm not going to say too much because everyone will know who it is. But he's like, bro. He goes, zero appetite.
Yeah.
He's like zero. He's
Well,
like, I knew
that. I knew that with tirzepatide. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to show the audience because I did the first one for like really to show like and get perspective for training normal ass people. And so that was the goal. I could absolutely take that with the strategy of how do I use this to get shredded. And I know I would manage the dose a little bit different. And I would hit it right with that sweet spot where I still have an appetite and I can get what I need to. But I remember how much it just completely eliminates the noise. I had no cravings for junk food. And that is when you are dieting for a show and training that consistently in a deficit for that long, you have dreams about food.
Oh.
All the time I thought about food for weeks and weeks and weeks. And so to quiet that noise would be it would make competing so much easier.
Oh God.
That's the hardest part. The hardest part about competing is the diet. It's not the training part.
No.
Lifting weights and showing up to the
That's
gym.
fun.
A lot of people love that. It is literally, and if you know programming, that's the easy part. The hard part is can you
just tough it out.
Well, that's what always deterred me from
and stay locked in, dialed to the calorie for months. And that is what that separates the people that can get up there and do that. And if I was using something like that to quiet that, bro.
Do you know what the average weight loss was for the people in the study? There's 445 people, 28% of their body weight.
So we have I want to know the muscle. I want to know the muscle.
I don't have that.
That's what I want.
I don't have the data on that.
Because
but earlier data that I saw showed less muscle loss than the other. I
remember that's what they originally when we were at Dr. Seed's convention. That's what they were hyping.
Yeah, they were alluding to it.
Let me put it this way: a 300-pound person, theoretically, with this average weight loss, through this trial would have lost 84 pounds.
And what period of time?
God, I should see how long the study went. That's a good question.
6, 12?
No. It was a longer study. I got to look up and see how long that was. But bro, that's wild. That is so wild. I got to look up 72 weeks. So how long is 72 weeks? What is that?
52 weeks a year. So
it was over a year. Yeah.
Oh wow, they did over a year long.
So they were staying on it for a while. Yeah.
Oh, I really want to know what the muscle is then.
So do I.
Yeah, that's that. To me, that's.
But dude, how crazy is it that obese people in the study were like, I gotta stop this. I lost too much already.
Yeah.
That sounds to me like a commercial.
Well, that also alludes to me that they knew that they were losing a ton of muscle.
Yeah.
That's why you would drop out.
Yeah,
you don't drop out because you're losing too much fat.
Yeah.
You drop out because you recognize
you're getting worried about it.
Yeah, you're getting worried that you're losing a lot of muscle.
Yeah,
too.
dude.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That's wild.
I know so many normal people that are using it right now.
That's the part that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
People who need to lose like 15 pounds, 10 pounds. Boom, put me on a GLP.
Yeah, there's no reason for that.
If it's a massive.
I know people who don't need to lose any weight who go on it because they just I don't want to think about food. What? Wow. Okay.
It does take
Wild.
there is a part, and I guess what is the balance of this here, right? Because there's the hedonistic value of food, right? Like
Of
there's,
course.
like there's something to
What
say.
happened to discipline?
Like it ruined ice cream for me. Like I mean, I remember on it like let me try. It's like, oh my God, I don't even want this. I'm like, that's terrible. I love this. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's an interesting.
Ice cream is all sad.
It is.
Come back to me.
But it'll come right back though. It'll come right back. Yeah. You feed it a couple times and then your bug go, oh yeah, I remember this.
Hey, change the subject. Men's Health did like this survey thing about skincare products. Do you guys want to know who got first place? Who got best for anti-aging? Caldera
Well, I
Lab.
should hope it's Caldera.
Caldera Lab.
Okay.
Is that a new article?
Caldera in Men's Health magazine named the Hydro Layer the best for anti-aging.
I don't even use that one yet.
cream?
So Hydro Layer is pure moisturizer. So it's a moisturizer.
Okay.
And I mean, so that's the one my wife uses. So I have the Hydro Layer. We have the serum. And she likes the Hydro Layer. And she's like, dude, I put it on. It's like the best moisturizer I've ever used. What does that say there, Doug?
Yeah, so it has exosomes. It says over 1 trillion exosomes, hyaluronic acid, polyglutamic acid, and peptide growth factors.
Oh, I didn't know they have a
Peptide
subscription.
growth
I didn't know they have a subscription model where you can save 20%.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but
should
I mean,
know stuff like that.
you know, Caldera Lab went from like new company to dominating.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
in such a crazy
the top
short
brand in that space
That's
for
right.
sure.
Clinical. Look at those clinical trials. They come out and they crush. What I like about here's the thing. That I like about Caldera Lab.
We haven't had their founder on the show, have we?
No, that's that's
a good
true.
call.
It would be an interesting story.
It would be an interesting story because they went after a market that kind of didn't exist.
Yeah.
It was men's skincare.
I mean, it's much like Viore if you look at the parallel of that.
That's
like
true.
Serving the male market.
What else could we do? Let's think about this, guys. What's a market?
Yeah, what's
that
you
women?
typically
There's like a
female-
huge market for
We're
women.
not doing
but men.
makeup, you guys. Okay.
Men's makeup?
No.
You know, some companies have tried that.
I do.
Really?
Yes, some
Like
companies
men makeup?
in the past have tried a little bit. I think their peak was the.
Hey,
I mean,
Doug's
only if
tried
you
it.
bring back glam
Doug-
metal or something.
If there was one of us,
Eyeliner.
if there was one of us that have tried it, Doug's tried it. Doug's tried it.
Hey, one year for Halloween.
Oh, they have it.
One year for Halloween, we were dressing up. I dressed up as a vampire, and I put eyeliner on. You know, on my eyes were on. And I looked in the mirror, and I was like, "Whoa, dude! I look like a magician." You know what I mean? like
Chris Angel all of a sudden.
Yeah, dude.
Mysterious.
What was it? I think I sent you a Chris Angel spoof video.
Oh, yeah.
I've been sending Justin
Yeah.
DMs like crazy.
His name was Chris Anal.
I can't get. Hey, by the way, too.
What?
Well, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's a real thing.
What? No,
That's
no.
a real company.
That's
Yeah.
men's makeup.
Yes, yes.
Stop it.
Shut your face right now.
Yes, it's true.
What are you going to put on as makeup as a guy? What are you going to put on your face? What do they got? Read me the
There's no
products.
manly
Yeah,
dudes.
well, they got,
There's
like,
no way.
Eyeliner.
Yeah,
and
brow
blush.
brow darkener,
It's not like enhancing your manly features.
shine eraser, quick cover.
I go to the top. Show the guy. Show the guy. Show
Bro,
the
if
guy.
Yeah, no.
Well,
Yeah, what is he doing to his eyebrows?
I could tell something.
Look, he looks sad.
He looks sad.
He should be sad.
I wonder how it does. See if it's a growing market. You're probably.
Oh my god! I don't even want to say the name of the company because I don't want to give them.
dude.
I mean, it's more than one brand. Too.
Well, yeah. So see see if it's a growing market.
Is that
How did this
eyeshadow?
happen?
Yeah.
What is going
You
on?
guys.
I know, it's like concealers largely. So like covering.
It
up,
says makeup for men. It is makeup for men.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
I was
So-
thinking either that or
feel like you're
like high
justifying
heels
that.
for
I am
like, short
justifying.
dudes.
it. I'm thinking about trying this under eye concealer.
It popped up in his search really fast. He didn't even finish typing.
finish typing, it went come out.
He put M and then makeup for men popped right up.
Welcome back.
Yeah.
What do you get?
I've been found out here.
When he's at home after work.
I got like one of those
Busted
little
dog.
tissues and put my lips on it.
Hey,
Really compact.
hey,
Just like,
I would
knew he
love-
was cheating, bro. I knew he was cheating to look that young.
How funny would it be if like we all did makeup, like men's makeup, went home, didn't say anything? Like what would your wife say?
we don't look like clowns.
You know, it's not uncommon though if you're on in the films and things like that on TV.
Hey, I'll tell
No,
everybody
100%.
right now.
That
you
is funny that we
watching
don't
us
do
on
that.
camera. There's zero makeup on our faces. And I'm sure you can
I
tell.
look this ugly for real.
Everybody can tell.
Like
Sal.
we realize that, you guys.
They look at Justin. Do you live outside?
I'm cracking as we speak.
What's going on here? Oh God. Anyway, hey, have you guys seen the studies? I'm sure you haven't. Where do you guys keep your?
Hey, you guys piss off, bro.
That's a low blow, man.
Have you guys
sound like Gavin Newsom there.
Hey, that clip. Was
I'm just like you guys.
Hey, I'm just like you guys. I'm dumb.
Hey, it's going
What an
viral. So many
idiot,
people
dude.
are already making so many.
God, who's his
like,
PR person?
He's such a snake. Dude.
Actually, I've been paying his PR person.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
taxes.
Yeah.
All right, so there's where do you guys keep your toothbrushes in the bathroom? Where's your toothbrush?
a little cup thing.
Out in the open, out in the air.
Yeah.
How about you, Justin?
For what?
Your toothbrush.
Yeah.
I know where this is going. I know where
it
this
gets
is going,
Poop
yeah.
particles.
Fecal
on it.
matter, dude, is on your toothbrush.
I've heard this.
If you flush your toilet, if you don't close your toilet when you flush it,
It's
How
got to
far
be how far
proximity?
away. I got a pretty big
Thank
bathroom,
you.
and it's pretty far away.
bro, do you know how
That
far
matters.
the spray
Yeah.
goes? Doug, look up how far does this what do they call it? The spray from toilet flushing. How far does that reach?
yeah, mine's
Chunk of
pretty far
particles.
away, bro.
You would be shocked.
That's like saying if someone has their toothbrush in their bedroom, it's gonna get
No,
that.
no.
Well, that's how. I mean, mine's far away. It's
Dude,
pretty
you
far.
have it on your phone anyways.
What?
Poop.
poop face.
I know for sure.
Talk about your own
That's why,
phone.
that's why I always talk on speakerphone.
Yeah.
What? Oh, you
Okay.
got one near your face? Dude.
It says it can go up to 5 feet.
Oh, see, I'm good, bro.
You're further
Oh,
than
5 feet.
yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Yeah.
My sink's
Mr. Adam.
Yeah,
I
at
got
least-
at least 30-foot bathroom.
No, my bathroom's not that big. No, it's not that big. It's not that big, but it's definitely more.
You
Hey,
gotta go
hey,
down the gold
hey, 5
tile
feet. Now
to get to
listen,
the end of the
when I had my condo,
hallway.
when I had my condo, my bathroom was definitely like that. Yeah. So if you live in a condo, you probably absolutely have a.
He's trying to be relatable right now. I was poor. I used to be poor.
Whatever, Gavin.
Guys.
Whatever, Gavin.
Oh, my
Just like you.
Oh, my bathroom? There's no way the poop touches my toilet. Bro,
Well,
I got to call my wife from one end to the other.
Well, you're silly, bro. You have to factor that in. To say something like that with a study, there's got to be some sort of a range that they're doing that with. Because
Average bathroom.
Although my bathroom is not any, I have a small bathroom actually. I do not have, relative to my house and everything else, it's not big at all. It's not.
Put his mouth up. Listen, my house is huge. My bathroom should be huge.
It's not. You have. I think you have. No, Doug has.
Feels
the
like
biggest
a
house.
mile.
Doug has the
Hey,
biggest.
stop trying to out
Hey,
him, dude.
the guy with the least amount of people has the biggest house.
Not yet. He hasn't got. Have you gotten your new place yet?
Yes.
I have it. Yeah.
Are you there?
Not there, no.
You're not there.
He's got two houses.
close? All
He's got
right.
his square footage is
Party.
like.
Hey, so what do you?
When are we
Okay,
gonna party?
okay.
Dad?
This is,
What are you gonna do with the West Wing?
When are we
Are
gonna party?
you gonna stay on one side?
I'm going to put a velvet rope
Intercom.
You gonna throw parties, dude? What's
there. I
going on?
will. I will.
You can get an
forward to that
intercom
one.
just to get your toothbrush.
I just picture Doug in his pajamas running down the hall, back and forth.
Is your toilet within 5 feet of your sink?
Let me think. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
it is?
Yeah, probably.
Oh wow.
Yeah, probably. I rinse it in the toilet because I don't mess around.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I just, like, might as well do
Well,
that.
so no, toilet bowl water is actually supposed to be really clean.
Not toilet bowl water.
Yes.
The stuff in the
Bro,
top.
you're talking about the tank,
the tank, yeah.
not the. What have
You're
you
not
done?
in the bowl.
What do you mean? Why wouldn't the bowl be clean?
Well,
What do you mean you?
you have to ask.
Hold on a second. Please. What do you do with the toilet water, though? Bro,
Just like the
please tell me.
dogs.
You have a look on your face like you're just.
No, I'm not borrowing your
Oh,
toothbrush.
you said a good place to scoop out and drink at night.
No.
If there's ever an emergency, the tank water.
Tank on the top. Yeah.
The tank, not the
Not
bowl.
the bowl.
I feel that looks way grosser.
No, what?
No, it's
Have you ever
brand
lifted
new.
the back of that?
Nobody
Okay.
poops in that though, dude.
Yeah,
It's
that's
not-
the thing. Unless you do upper decker, which would be just
That's
messed
the
up.
worst. Don't upper deck
Don't
anybody.
upper deck anybody.
Unless you really.
You'll never fix that.
No,
it's
just
forever.
throw away your
Always be
toilet.
tainted.
Yeah, no, it's not toilet bowl. It's the bowl water is not clean.
So your place is that you're within 5 feet, huh?
Yes, I'm sure. I am.
Oh, so you
sure
brought up a study that only affects you.
No.
Yes.
Well, he was worried about it. Yes.
Are
that
you?
Makes sense.
Are you within 5?
Oh no, it's probably like maybe like 8.
Yeah.
10.
It's like 99% of the people listening.
So you guys now everyone's trying to downplay their bodies, like try to make me look like a total asshole. Like, I've got this massive house. I do not have. In fact, I do
got a
not.
PS3.
Do you have
I
a TV in your bathroom?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No, I don't
That's
have a TV
good.
in my bathroom.
I don't.
paused.
I wanted one.
You have a TV in your closet?
I do.
Oh, you're such a girl.
Whatever. You know how cool that is?
What-
Play sports when I'm hanging out my clothes?
His closet's pretty cool, dude. Have you been in it?
No.
Get into Adam's closet.
I know.
Sal's been in the
It's a
closet for long
secret
time.
club, dude. Yeah.
With all the shoes.
He showed me. Yeah.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
cool.
No, I'm cool, dude.
Sal doesn't care about any of that stuff. I mean, this guy shits next to his toothbrush. I mean,
That's true.
While
He's content with that.
But if you close the seat when you flush, that's what you need to do. That was the
Yeah.
whole point of what I was trying to say, you guys, is close the seat, flush the
So this
toilet.
is a PSA. All
Don't
right.
leave the seat up and flush. I know you like to watch it go down, Justin, but put the
do.
seat down. You know what I mean?
I'm like, woo.
Yeah. Dude. You got it.
That's the hack.
Game I
Yes,
play.
That's
that's
the
it.
hack.
All right, so I want to talk to you guys about one of our partners, Ro. I want to talk about liposomal technology, which has been around for a long time, and it's one of their selling points. And so I brought up some stuff on liposomal technology, which I think people need to know about. So liposomes are essentially they're microscopic bubbles of essentially a type of a fat. A phospholipid that surrounds the compound, and it protects it and brings it to target tissues. By the way, they use this for drugs, so pharmaceuticals who use liposomal technology. But with supplements, I looked up the data. Do you know how much it increases bioavailability?
Oh, a bunch.
5 to 10 times.
Yeah.
5 to 10 times.
I never heard about that until like maybe a few years ago. And
Yeah.
I feel like so many supplement
makes so
companies
much
are
more
now
sense.
moving in that
Well,
direction.
I'll give you an example. Glutathione. If
Yeah.
you take glutathione and it's not liposomal, you're wasting your time.
Yeah, it's a total waste.
In fact, the old way of taking glutathione only used to be injection, because if you took it orally, you get no rise in glutathione in your system. It was just a complete waste of time.
Yeah.
Liposomal glutathione definitely works because it's encapsulated.
It transports it.
And so what Ro does with their products, they have creatine, NAD, they have glutathione, they have magnesium. All of them have this liposomal technology. So if you use those things in other ways and then you try Ro's, you're probably going to get better absorption.
Well, we've been
better
on the liposomal glutathione kick for a while.
long time.
But I like Ro better because of it's in the bottle and you can just squirt it in like
Yeah.
that. It's so much more
way more
convenient.
convenient.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
And I've been consistent with that too. You just reminded me of that.
No, it's good.
That I hadn't done today.
That's good. All right, I got one more study for you guys. It's
That we probably
it's-
haven't read.
It's making you guys haven't read this. There's no way. No, I'm just kidding. No, you guys might have seen this actually. It was a study on homeschool versus kids going to traditional school and how well they do with their tests. Who does better, homeschool kids or public school kids?
Homeschool for sure, bro. It's not even close.
Way better.
I'd like
guys.
to see private school thrown in that
way
mix.
better.
Because I think like public school struggles big time against both
Yes.
of those.
Yes.
Both homeschool and private school.
But homeschool kids just generally crush in comparison to other kids,
do you think
even private school kids.
Do you think it's more? Is it against private school kids?
even private school kids?
Oh, I like to see
Now,
that.
private school kids tend to outperpome public school kids,
I would like to see. You know what I like to see? 'Cause
but homeschool kids typically do the best.
I have a theory that okay, what do you think is I think the biggest factor of that? I don't think it's curriculum.
Whoever's teaching them at home.
I don't think that.
I think it's two things. I know what you're going to say.
Okay.
Homeschool parents really pay attention or involved.
So okay.
So that plays the biggest role.
Well, I think that plays in what I think it's the ratio of kid to teacher.
Of course.
Yes, the attention.
course.
And homeschool is going to have one on
You
four,
gauge the education.
1-on-4 or 1-on-1
Yeah.
because you probably don't have the average person probably isn't homeschooling more than 4
Yeah,
kids
but
at home.
Are they really factoring in the parent that doesn't want to do it but is, homeschooling?
This is all homeschool kids.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so all of them. Here's the other thing too. When you talk to, I had clients that were really big in this community. I've told this story before, but their kid was struggling in elementary school, like really struggling. And these were two really smart people. They were successful in tech. They were able to retire. So they say, hey, we're going to homeschool this kid. And at the time, I remember thinking like, that's not a good idea. Because I had that kind of, just that mentality around it. Well, anyway, this kid did really well as a result because you tailor it to your kid.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got into that community.
Yep.
Do you know how long, what the average amount of education per day, let's say per school day, how much time a homeschool kid spend on it versus
It's like a
way
fraction.
less.
it's like an hour or two.
I mean,
I know.
I
I think
was
that's the biggest
I was
benefit.
homeschooled for a year, and when it was in 7th grade.
Was that because you got in trouble or was it?
Yeah, getting in fights. Remember I was getting bullied. It was when I tell the story when I moved to Colorado. And it was in a full year because I was already going to school the first quarter, and then the rest of the year I was homeschooled, and so basically I just followed the school's curriculum.
Yeah.
And my mom would just give me the stuff that I needed to work on per day. I was done in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I would do the schoolwork in 2 hours. I had the whole rest of the
No
day.
distractions.
Yeah,
Like
it's crazy
Get it done.
when you actually condense it down to what you need to do and just like hone in and focus on what's getting done. It's
Just
like
goes to show
this
you
is
how
what
much
kills
wasted
me.
time.
Yeah. That's what killed me about school in general.
yeah.
You're just bored.
Yeah,
Dude, it's just wasted.
Yeah.
Like time and effort and it's so inefficient, you know, and that just, I don't know. Well, that always frustrated me.
The old argument against the two of those used to be the socialization.
I know.
That used to be the big argument.
Yeah, but that's if you just keep your kid inside alone and that's all you do. But they do activities outside of school.
But I
put them in sports. You put them in.
It would be interesting to see how many, because I do know. I mean, I have family that homeschool kids.
Right?
Yeah, and the kids are amazing. Some of the best kids that I've ever been around. So, but I also know they were very proactive about those things.
Yep.
So it would be interesting to see if you took all the homeschool parents. How many of them do a good job of actually doing that? Because I think I could also see how easily you could isolate your kid.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like you're home all day anyways. And it's like
that'd be the real effort is to get them involved in a lot of other like extracurricular things.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the data?
Clubs.
I don't know what the exact numbers are. Maybe Doug can find these, but the percentage of kids who are homeschooled versus traditional education that then have their parents' values as they get older. In other words, if you homeschool your kids, what percentage of those kids will have your similar values versus
80%?
It's crazy.
90%.
It's crazy. You put them in these systems, especially public
indoctrinated, because they're there all day.
Oh my God! Then what happened to my kid? Yeah. My kid's like crazy, and it's because they adopted these other.
I wonder too how much like it matters too how much the parent is involved on a daily basis with the kids' schoolwork too, because I think that probably plays a huge role.
Of course,
like that's one of the things I love about Max's school is that they force us to engage. Like a week can't go by that I can't be involved as a parent in the schoolwork.
Yeah,
and so that's part of the schoolwork is they integrate the parents, and in order for him to be able to complete it. So it's
do you have percentages on that, Doug?
I don't see any percentages.
If you could change,
why he's living that.
49% in one study.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be higher than that.
Yeah. Well, when we were talking about the efficiency of it and everything, and like how like little time you spend, it reminded me of this quote. It was like my new favorite quote. It was brevity is the soul of wit, which is from like Hamlet, I guess. But it was just like, to me, of course, my personality. It's kind of like I'm just very succinct.
Yeah.
Like what can I get done with the least amount of words? But yeah, I would love to have experienced education like that.
Yeah, yep. No, we got such a cool compliment for it. So we're coming up on parent teacher conference stuff, and Katrina and I are traveling during the time, and so she stayed to talk to the teacher and learn. What can we do? This and that. We can come. We were leaving town for this and that, and the lady's like, "Oh, you don't need to come in." And Katrina's like, "Well, no, the parent conference thing." And she's like, "Yeah, no, you don't. Your kid's fine." She's like, "Well, I'll Zoom call you. It's not for your kid." And Katrina's like, what do you mean? And she's just perfect. Like, he's such a good kid. We really want parents to come in that we need to sit down and talk with.
Tommy, his parents are coming in.
Yeah.
We need to talk to them.
Yeah. So it was like she's like, it was a really cool compliment to hear the teacher be like, no, he's doing just fine. Like,
that's awesome.
She's like, I'll Zoom you. We'll take 5 minutes and just keep you updated on
good
everything.
Kid. He's a great kid. Dose has some pretty incredible products. They have a liver support product that's been shown in studies, real studies, to dramatically lower liver enzyme values. In other words, it's all natural, but it actually works. There's a lot of stuff out there that'll say it improves the health of your body or your liver, but they don't have anything backing it. Dose actually backed it with a study. If you want a healthier liver, better detoxification, you want better metabolism, you want to feel more energetic because you have a healthier liver, go to dosedaily.co/mindpump. The discount code is mindpump. That'll give you 25% off. Back to the show.
Our first caller is Megan from Alberta.
Hi, Megan.
How you doing, Megan?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
Good. How can we help you?
Good. Okay, so I'm just going to jump into a little bit of my backstory here because it's kind of long. So my question is going to be regarding the negative effects of an imbalance in the body. So 4 years ago, I was diagnosed with severe TMJ. Over those last 4 years, I have had 3 jaw surgeries, the most recent being a full joint replacement, and I still might need a 4th surgery. After my first surgery, my jaw pain started to get worse, and within that year, I started having a lot of anterior ankle pain. As my jaw progressively got even worse yet, so did my lower body pains. My feet and shins also started to become a chronic problem. It has become so bad now that most days I can only take my dog for maybe a 20-minute walk. And some days I can't even do that. I've tried everything possible so far. So I've done physio, osteopath, chiropractor, massage, acupuncture. I've done Botox in my jaw twice. I've done the Juve red light for about a year. Supplements, air compression boots, ice, heat, rest, stretching, mobility, and I got custom insoles from my podiatrist. So my podiatrist had recently sent me for an MRI on my ankles just before I had heard back from you guys. I did get the results back. I just haven't had a chance to meet with him yet to go through it all. But I kind of have the gist of it. If you guys want that information,
Yeah, please.
Let's hear it.
Mhm.
Okay, I'm gonna probably screw up some of these words, but so on both ankles, they're showing an elongated appearance of the peroneus brevis and slight difference of the anterior talofibular ligament. Left ankle has tiny dorsal osteophytes. Right ankle has some thickening in the ATFL, trace fluid in the tendon sheath, and remote talonavicular injury avulsion. So the ATFL, it was complete without ruptures, but most likely from prior low-grade sprains. I did play basketball a lot in school, but that was almost 20 years ago now. I gave these MRI results to my new osteopath, and she showed me kind of where all the areas connect from the jaw to the feet and the ankles and such, and the nervous system. So we discussed the possibility that my severe jaw pain and inflammation could have affected these other areas and past minor injuries. She also noted signs of dysfunction in my periosteum system and may possibly have myofascial pain syndrome. Before I started this osteopath, everyone kind of always told me just to rest, relax, don't overdo it, which I've been doing. I haven't worked in 3 years because of all of this, and my pain has just progressively gotten worse and worse, even within the last couple weeks. So I'm just not sure how I could do any less. So I'm just wondering what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on the idea that my jaw could be affecting my feet and ankles. As the last time I did see my podiatrist, he laughed at me for even suggesting that that's a possibility. So I just don't understand why all of a sudden this is coming back.
Yeah.
Or this is coming into my ankles and feet just with a vengeance.
Yeah, really sorry you're going through that. One of the most challenging things is to deal with chronic pain and then to not be able to find a solution or a root cause. That can be super frustrating. And you said you've been dealing with this for years. So that's really, really tough. Theoretically, pain and dysfunction in any part of the body can affect any other part of the body.
For sure.
And we could have physiological, movement explanations, but I think the easiest explanation is if you hurt a lot, you're going to move differently. Okay. So, and it doesn't matter where you hurt. If it's chronic and in pain, you're going to move differently because you're constantly in pain. So that's possible. There's other few areas that I would look if I were you, though, because it sounds like potentially there's also something systemic going on. So I would look for things that could cause changes to how your body perceives pain systemically, things that may cause inflammation, for example, or things that may cause dysfunction in a systemic way. I would test for heavy metal toxicity, mold exposure. I would test for parasites, all three of which can cause pain to pop up in different parts of the body. And then what tends to be kind of signature with those things is you'll have pain in one area, then it pops up in another area, then it pops up in another area, and then before you know it, you're kind of hurting all over. Okay? So I would look at those things, and you could get tested for mold, heavy metal, and parasites, just to rule them out. Because I have worked with people where they dealt with something similar to this, and it was also accompanied by feeling foggy-minded, and they did have mold toxicity. And once they were able to, or mold exposure, once they were able to solve that, everything kind of went away. The other thing is this: we can't separate. It's impossible to separate the physiological from the psychological. And so, and it could look like this. It could look like you have chronic pain from actual dysfunction, but then it causes so much distress, so much of an interference and interruption to your life that this is literally, for lack of a better term, because whenever I say this, people's reaction is like, oh, what, you think it's all in my head? Well, pain is always all in your head, no matter what. Even if I cut your arm off, the pain that you perceive is in your head. So it's not like you're making it up. But the trauma that can come from chronic pain, especially if it's a major interference or interruption into your life, like you can't work, your relationships suffer, and it's just this it's just there all the time. It can cause this scenario where you have pain all over your body. But I would first rule out any kind of measurable physiological condition or issue. Now you're going to osteopaths, and they're gonna image you. They're gonna look at the joints. What it sounds like with your ankles is what you would expect if someone has ankle pain. It doesn't sound like there's this big red flag, but it does. Like I would expect to see something if you had pain. But I wouldn't, if you were my friend, I wouldn't rush to surgery until we ruled out some of this other stuff. Because if the surgery doesn't solve it, what ends up happening is a sequence of surgeries, and then a potential loss of mobility and all that stuff. So have you tested for any of the things that I said? Have you seen someone functional medicine that can do that?
I have, yeah. I did the Cabral heavy metal test. It was a couple years ago now, but I just had like minimal like aluminum, which they said most people kind of tend to have. And I do see a naturopath here, and they tested me for mycotoxins, which is a mold, and I do have high records of that. And we've been working on it for a good 6 to 8 months or so now.
Okay.
I'm just trying to explore kind of every avenue, because I know that the mycotoxin in the sheet that he gave me, it did show like inflammation in the lower legs and stuff, which I thought made sense. So that's kind of why I was going down that route. But then it kind of gets overwhelming the more people I talk to. It kind of almost hinders it a little bit. But so these osteopaths, they're really great, but like they're the first ones that kind of put that little seed in my head that it could be from like more so from my from my jaw.
Yeah.
Is it just with the timing of it all was kind of like, oh, maybe, I just thought it was strange that it went straight to my feet and not to like upper body, but whatever.
It's possible. I mean, it's definitely possible. And I've seen, like I said, somebody listening right now, if your face and your neck were in constant pain, you would move differently.
Yeah. Was that the only place that you had like an injury that you can remember from back when? Like your ankles?
Yeah, I've never really had like any sort of major like injury per se. I've only sprained my ankles and like my fingers playing basketball. Maybe a wrist, but I don't think it's been so long. But I did hyperextend my left knee Almost 10 years ago now. And it is still, I was going to try to work that into my question somehow, but it is still a fairly weak knee. Like I just can't seem to get that back. But there was no like actual injury per se. I had all the scans and stuff. I just I already have double jointed knees. So I just kind of went back a little too far. Mm-hmm. And then I had a horseback riding accident, but I didn't break anything. I didn't like fracture anything. I just was bruised basically. Yeah. So nothing like too major, but
Megan, with the mold test and stuff, have you had your home tested to see if you have any mold in the house?
No, we had just bought a new to us home. So I haven't done that, but.
How long ago?
Not even a year ago. Yeah.
Okay. Just double check. You might want to test just to make sure, because it does sound a little systemic with what's going on. And then so here's the thing with pain. You have we can measure what's happening with pain. We can see the signals being sent, and we can see, inflammation. But the perception of the pain is such a big part of it. It's remarkable. I mean, it's remarkable. You could talk to surgeons about when they do surgeries on children who don't know any better, and versus adults, which are, oh man, I'm supposed to be in a lot of pain. And there's a very different kind of response. My wife experienced this it was very acute. She had this shoulder injury. She used to travel with the circus, and she used to do the silks, and it kind of became a part of her identity. Before that, she never worked out and everything. And suddenly she was like, oh my God, I could do something athletic and I'm fit and I love it. And then she hurt her shoulder. And, when I started dating her, this was already years after she had left, she had this kind of chronic shoulder pain. And we would constantly do correctional exercise. And we had gotten to the point where her mobility and strength seemed okay, but the shoulder pain was still there. And we had this discussion around this kind of trauma connected to the shoulder pain. And we kind of worked on that, and it just went away. Mm-hmm. And she was like, I didn't even, and I'm like, well, it changed your life. And I can't imagine how much of an impact what you've experienced has had on your life and that. So don't discredit that as well in terms of how that could potentially be influencing, all of these things, and even influencing the systemic effect with your immune system. But I would continue to look. Lyme disease would be another thing I would look for. Mold. I was thinking that too. I would look for these things that can cause an immune kind of reaction. And then with exercise, I would train in a way that was correctional. Movement's always good. Sauna's always good. A good diet is always good. But definitely one thing can affect another. Just simply from the pain alone. I don't need to connect the dots and show how how it's all connected. I think that's how doctors think. But it's like, if I punched you in the face, you probably walk differently for a while until it healed, which theoretically could affect your ankles, knees, and everything else.
Have you been able to get any relief with light movement, mobility with your ankles? Or is it just kind of aggravated?
I feel like it just aggravates it. And again, that's the mental thing where I'm like nervous to do too much, or like, like even with mobility and stretching, like sometimes it'll inflame it and then I'm sitting on the couch like dying. Or sometimes I'm okay, but then it's the next day it hits me. And so I'm just like nervous to, like, I haven't been to the gym in like a year, but that's mostly because of my jaw. Cause it just, like, you don't realize how much it, like, things can pull on you. And then, but like with the feet and ankles, like they literally just started getting to like the point I'm at now, which is I barely do anything because they're so inflamed, and they just like, it just kills me even just to clean my house kind of thing. So I have to break that up into different days. And so I haven't done a whole lot of like working out or anything. And I was hoping that maybe you guys could talk me into getting back.
I think
something.
I think your best approach with exercise is to do a little bit every day when you feel okay. Use bands.
Bands for sure.
Correctional exercise. If you don't have Prime Pro, I'll send that to you. Those are the movements that I would do. And you would just practice them a little bit here and there when you feel okay. When you don't, you just
squeeze to get a pump.
That's it. And just kind of move through different ranges of motion in those with those particular movements. But I would definitely look at things that can affect you systemically, Lyme, mold. I would look at anything with the gut. Then I would look at any potential autoimmune issue. They could test for autoimmune issues to see if there's anything else like that. But those are the areas I would look, because it sounds like it's systemic. It doesn't sound like it's just one area with pain and then it's just staying there. It sounds like it's kind of
found a weak link that it could gravitate towards. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I don't. I will definitely try to do the Prime Pro. I appreciate you guys sending it. I don't really have many good days, but I'll definitely do a little bit here and there and just see how it goes. Cause like nothing, and that's one thing, like I was with the red light, I had really high hopes and with it to just show something. But I'm wondering if it is so like systemic, like you say, if that's just not.
Have you tried
any to it?
You've been tested for Lyme?
Have you tried any peptides or anything yet?
I actually just started peptides 4 days ago. It's really hard to get them here. In Canada, they're kind of stingy about them. So I finally found a hopefully reputable place to get them from. My girlfriend's been through these guys for about a year, so she hasn't died yet. So I think I'm okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I started BPC 157 as listening to you guys, and then it has a mix of TB 500 in it.
Okay.
So it's only been today will be day 5.
Yeah. You want to give that about a month or two, and then you tested for Lyme. I had asked that earlier.
Many moons ago, it did come back positive.
Okay.
But it was about 10 years ago or so, and we've done so many things to work through it, and nothing has ever budged with it.
Yeah.
So that's why my naturopath has me on the mycotoxin route, because he thinks that could be blocking any sort of treatment.
Okay.
But so I do have that as a naturopath standpoint. If I test here in Canada through like a actual medical doctor, I show as a negative.
Yeah.
So
that's hard to. You got the testing is sometimes not sensitive enough. I wish I could give you a better answer. But my gut feeling is to look for something that's affecting you systemically and not locally, not like it's the joint, but rather why is my body so inflamed and why am I developing areas of inflammation is where I would look. Yeah.
Okay. Right. And like when you mentioned diet, I know that lots of the foods that I'm eating are like an inflammatory per se, because like I'm so limited on what I can eat, right? Like some days I can eat ground beef, like in a spaghetti sauce, say, or something, and then some days I can barely.
Oh wow! I
can barely have chewing that. Like so, lots of times I just try to choke it down, but so I am eating a lot of carbs and pastas, stuff like that, soup. Yeah. I get the occasional shake in, but I got so sick of shakes from surgery that I kind of fell off of them. But so
it's probably not a bad thing to avoid common food intolerances. So gluten, dairy, legumes, nightshades. And so you'd stay kind of like fruits, vegetables aside from nightshades. I'd stay away from nightshades and meats, and see it, only because of the state that you're in. Any common intolerance may make things worse, but that can't hurt. It can't hurt to go in that direction. Kind of like a paleo style diet.
Mm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll try that.
All right. Well, Megan, if you get any more information, I'd love to hear back from you.
Hopefully people watching this too, they might, know somebody, or, maybe there's a medical professional watching this that has ideas too. So hopefully it gets out and get you some answers.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that.
You got it, Megan.
All right.
Thanks for calling.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
You got it. That's tough.
I didn't want to put her in a position on the call. When I've had client, this is rare when you get somebody like this that's like checking all the boxes, and they just can't get to the bottom of what it is. I've had experience, a handful of times where some of this stuff is related to like childhood trauma.
Sure.
And if you have just powered through your life and never really done a lot of work on that, it tends to start to express itself in all these weird things and injuries and symptoms and stuff and autoimmune issues and things that you can't quite get to the bottom of. And so I didn't want to put her on the spot on this.
What's tough about that, Adam? Because that's, by the way,
that's a component.
By the way, that's not woo. There's data to support this. Yeah. You can activate your immune system by hitting yourself.
Exactly.
Your immune system starts to identify your body as a threat, and we know this. The data can actually show this. And there's a very strong connection between autoimmune disease and depression and anxiety, and not just that they cause depression and anxiety, but depression and anxiety seem to cause higher rates of autoimmune issue. The problem is when you communicate that, the person feels like dismissed or like, what are you talking about?
That's why I didn't want to say it.
like
And this is what makes what we do a little difficult, because we have this, we have 10 minutes at best. We get to know these people in that short amount of time. And this would be something that, as her and I are training, I would slowly pull on that thread to find out more about childhood, personal life, things are going.
So I'll tell a story. I'll tell a specific story. I had a guy that I trained who, his wife came to me first, then he started training with me, and his body was so sensitive to pain that, like, my first couple sessions, I was shocked. Like, he'd do a row and I'd put my hands on him to kind of move his shoulders, and he'd go, he'd like flinch. And I remember thinking, like, this is really odd.
A weird reaction.
And after like 2 or 3 sessions, it was like, and so we'd ask the questions, no illness, no this, no that, but like everything hurt and we had to be very careful. So all I did, and this is back in the day when I didn't have a lot of awareness around this. I had that really great physical therapist that worked in there. So I would do correctional exercise and stuff with him.
Yeah.
But over time, what happened was we became friends. He became friends with the other people in the studio. And this is now looking back. He didn't have a lot of friendships. He was very lonely. It was just like him and his wife, and that's it. He did nothing else but work. And he started kind of coming out of his shell, and his personality changed. He got happier. And through that process, became way less sensitive. Now, he never got to the point where he could get after it, but the difference was dramatic. And I remember I would talk with my coworkers about this, because I worked with this guy for a few years, and they're like, I wonder if it was just, he was lonely, he didn't have any friendships, he had a really tough childhood. We never went into detail, but he would express that. Like, I wonder if it was just kind of him opening up. He was so protective of his body and protective that he opened up. And the pain, significant difference in how he reacted. And that stuck with me. That was one of my first experiences with, like, what we're talking about.
Yeah. And I think too, like you brought up even belly breathing I've had the same experience with a client who was really holding on. And the release of it was like a crazy emotional experience.
Yeah, I've had that.
So, in terms of, like, I don't know, maybe getting in there and like being able to meditate and, dive in further, that's worth investigating.
I've had, like I said, a handful of people that, like, where I just couldn't get to the bottom of it. Right.
Yeah.
I couldn't find the professional. I couldn't figure out the thing. And then something miraculously happened where they had a breakthrough with therapy, or they got married and all of a sudden found love,
and the pain's gone.
And then all of a sudden the pain is gone. And it's like, I didn't do anything different in their workouts or their diet. It was just there was something
circumstantial.
There was something going on inside internally that they were either suppressing or holding on to, and many times this is connected to childhood trauma stuff, things like that. And again, I didn't want her to feel dismissed by that. Like,
but by the way, the trauma could even simply be this. Maybe there isn't anything in childhood, or they could be, but it could also be this. I have severe jaw pain. It gets really bad. I have to get surgery. I can't work. Yeah. It's hard for me to talk. It's hard for me to eat. I have to get another surgery. Right. Now I'm not working for 2 years. I have to get another, it's that.
Spiral.
Anybody goes through that. That is traumatic. That is severely traumatic. Yeah. It changes everything.
Right.
Our next caller is Nicole from Arizona.
Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Nicole.
Hello.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much. I seriously appreciate you giving me some time.
Right. Yeah, you got it. How can we help you?
Okay, I'll just read the email. So, hello, my name is Nicole. I'm 25 years old and grew up playing soccer and overall being very active. Since going to college and not playing soccer, I learned how to go to the gym and got into running mainly. I have always been very into fitness and healthy nutrition, but starting a few years ago, I took it too far and developed anorexia. Since gaining back some weight, I've gotten to a point of the fittest I've ever been, yet almost the least fit because I overtrain and can't seem to find how much I need to fuel my body. I run 5 times a week and have gotten a DEXA scan, and I have 15% body fat and I'm trying to get stronger. I usually get about 30,000 steps every day, which I know is too much, but I just feel like I have to move. And if I don't, then I have to then eat way less. I get answers from most of the total daily energy expenditure results that I should be able to just maintain at 2,200 calories, but sometimes I feel like I could just eat like 4,000 calories every day and I'm hungry, but here I shouldn't eat too much and especially not carbs. So anyways, I think I'm doing too much, but would like to know how to make changes to work smarter, not harder, and do the transition to doing less without losing progress with my endurance and low body fat. Thank you guys so much again. I really love the podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for calling in, hon. It's so great to see someone your age ask a question like this. And there's some good self-awareness here, which gives me a lot of hope for what we want to do with you. Okay. I got to ask you, do you have a regular period, or has that been disrupted through the process that you went through anorexia and the exercise and stuff? Is that all normal?
That is actually still disrupted. I probably haven't, I didn't have it for probably 2 years. And then after I kind of recovered for a little bit, I got it back a little bit, but then it's been another 2 years probably since I've had it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll give you the plain, like what's happening, but then let's talk about how we could get there. Okay. You're definitely overtrained. You're definitely under eating still, for sure. Cool. Now we know. The hard part is, how do we get to a place where this doesn't feel so stressful? There's a couple of things you said besides your past, which is obviously giving me a clearer picture, but you said, I have to do 30,000 steps, or I feel like I have to eat less. Who's forcing you? What do you mean?
I don't even know. I swear, for some reason, I've always been a rule follower, but I just like set these things, or, the health world says to do, X or Y, and I take it to the extreme. And it's like, if I don't do, my exercise, even if I'm exhausted, then like the world is over, or whatever it may be.
I get it. But answer the question. Who is forcing you to do these things?
It's myself,
yes. That's
nobody else.
That's it. And what it probably feels like to you when you're creating this structure and these rules is that it feels like I got my hands around it and I'm controlling things, which can feel calming when things feel out of control. Or it feels like if I don't have my hands on these things, oh my God, what's going to happen? So there's a couple ways we could go about this, because I could give you the answers right now, but I don't think it's going to help you. I think you either need a coach to work with you through this process, because it's going to be a bit tough. If that's not feasible for you, Nicole, if that's something that's not available just financially for you, I think what I would do with someone like you, somebody who needs a target is I would point you in a direction that's going to move you the furthest away from this challenge. It's not the perfect target, but it's going to move you away from it. And there's a competitive element, which sounds like you like. Sounds like you kind of like something to aim for and something that's competitive. And what I would do, so here's your two options. Option one, the best, is work with a coach. We have coaches here at Mind Pump that we handpick, so I trust them. Option two is to pursue powerlifting. Powerlifting is going to be your best bet as far as a competition and target, because it's going to, if you're really seeking to get stronger and compete, it's going to move you away from all this other stuff that's a bit damaging. Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
No,
Keep going.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was just because I've started to try to like strength train, in the gym, but it is like I feel like I just get like lost. Or if I were to like imagine just doing strength training, which it's not even just like strength training obviously is very difficult, but I'm like, oh, if I don't run and have this huge sweat, then like I didn't get a good workout in, and now I have to eat way less because I didn't burn as many calories or whatever.
It's so not true though, just so you know.
I know.
And that feeling that you have where you feel like you could eat 4,000 calories, that's your body's natural signal saying, I need those calories. That's not a bad thing. That's like, you go out and you do 30,000 steps in a day,
plus
which
running.
is crazy. A crazy amount of steps. That's a ridiculous amount. A person doing 30,000 steps a day and running should be eating 4,000 plus calories a day.
Yeah.
And if you're not anywhere near that, the reason why you feel like you're starving is because your body is. And which is also why the period is shut down. Is that our body fat percentage is too low. We're pushing way too hard. We're way on the other extreme. We have to come, and this is why Sal is saying the coach is so important, is because this isn't like one or two little just tweaks. This is a process because we have to get on the whole other side. In fact, what it looks like is increasing calories, cutting those steps down to under 10,000 steps, and just lifting weights. Like that is so the opposite of where you're at.
And the coach is going to guide you through that.
And it's real easy for us to sit on our podcast chairs and tell you that. It's another thing to implement that and do that. And the voices in your head that are telling you all these things, and then heaven forbid you see the scale go up a few pounds and then freak out and think you're going the wrong way when actually you're building muscle and going the right way. That's where the coach comes in. Is the coach is the one who kind of talks you off that ledge every day and goes, Nicole, you're doing great. This is perfect. This is right where I want you. Like, oh, we're doing like. That's the real value. It's less of the X's and O's, and it's just that where you're at and where we need to go is a pretty far trek. And getting there is not hard from a physical standpoint. It's hard from a psychological standpoint.
Let me just communicate something to you that you may be aware of, but you might not be aware of. This control that you're putting around all these things, it's actually the reverse. It is controlling you. So you are actually out of control. You are being tyrannized by exercise, diet, stress, body image. All these things are controlling you. You're not controlling. As much as you're trying to control it, it's actually controlling you, which probably gives you the sense that you need to control it even more. And so it's just kind of like spiral. It's a spiral down. Yeah. So the answer is to do the scary thing, which is to give the control up completely. But the easiest way to do that is to give it to someone else. Now, and I'm gonna paint a couple pictures for you. Here's one path is if you keep going down. You're 25, you're young, but you're already your period is irregular. You're feeling like, oh my God, this doesn't feel good.
What did the bone density say on your DEXA scan? Did you see it?
Yeah, was your bone density okay?
My bone density was actually okay. My dad also got a DEXA, and they told him he was built like a tank. So I think I just have good genetics when it comes to bones.
Good. So what'll happen if you keep moving down this path is it's going to get more stressful, more difficult, more challenging, more negative symptoms, and it's going to feel terrible. So right now, youth is helping protect you a little bit, but if you keep going down this path, it'll be really, really nasty. Now, the other path that we could do right now is you relinquish control to someone you trust. How long have you been listening to our show, by the way?
It's been a couple of years now.
Okay. So you like us, you trust us a little bit. You think we know what we're talking. Okay. So
Definitely.
we have handpicked coaches because there's great coaches out there. Unfortunately, there's a lot of bad ones. The ones that we have are really good. So when you hear us communicate our philosophy around health and fitness and the methods, that's what our coaches do. And they're going to walk you through this entire process. And what you're going to do is, instead of giving up control completely, which is really scary, you're going to give it to someone else. And you're going to say, okay, I'm just going to follow what you're saying, even though it's scary, even though it's uncomfortable. I'm just going to follow what you're saying, and then you're going to give them that control. And then the process that looks like is, it's like training wheels, is eventually you start to trust the process, and you don't need to give that control to someone else. Then you're not with a coach, and it's totally different. It's a totally different relationship. You don't feel trapped. You don't feel controlled. You feel vibrant. And now this health and fitness is now a vehicle for freedom and not a vehicle for tyranny, which is what you're experiencing.
Nicole,
right now.
you brought up your dad did the DEXA scan. He did it with you. Do you live at home still, or is he aware of where you're at?
I live at home, or I finished college and then have been at home right now, just kind of working a little bit.
And does he know everything, like as far as the anorexia and what you've gone through?
Yeah, him and my mom. I've never really worked with too many other people. My mom was kind of my main little superstar, helping me through everything. So
that's wonderful.
Okay.
Do you think a coach is that something that's feasible for you? Would that be something you'd be interested in?
I do think so, because that's my biggest thing is my family is not super fit and healthy. I kind of grew up in a household where it's like, we could sit on the couch all day and eat whatever. It doesn't matter. It's totally fine for some people. My family's the best. But I feel like I've always lacked trust in the people around me. I'm like, I have to do the opposite of what they're doing, And so it's just hard for me with anybody to be like, okay, how can I trust that they know exactly what my body needs, even though I'm not even really listening to my body by pushing it to the limit. But it's just that trust kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll take care of you.
If you trust us, if you trust us, and we handpick these people, I'll have somebody call you today, and this is your best bet. And because of your awareness and your age, I have really high hope. I think you're going to do just great.
Yeah.
I think you're going to do just great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it.
You got it.
We'll see you on later calls, Nicole.
Okay. See ya. Bye guys. Thank you.
Oh, poor sweet girl.
Yeah.
That's tough. So again, this is when I talk to people, when they have that kind of awareness, the odds are high. It's still hard. She's going to have to do some hard work,
right?
But the odds are high, especially at her age. At 25, you'd be like, hey man, I got these issues and I need some help.
Oh yeah. Most people are in denial right now.
Yeah.
Most people are still in denial about it.
And they just keep going until their body shuts the heck down.
Yeah. And then they get all kinds of really bad. Well, I mean, she's already having hormonal stuff, right? Yep. Obviously if her period's been shut down like that.
Oh yeah.
But early enough, young enough. And it's great that she's got her bone density was okay too, because that's the next thing that you start to see to deteriorate.
That's right.
And so, catch it now and we'll be okay. The hardest part to me is that the answer is actually really easy. It's like
doing it.
Yeah, it's like because you're actually telling somebody who's doing way too much to do less,
back off,
eat some more. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that seems for the average person listening is just
it's because they're
just going to get in their own way.
You can't know it just in your head. She knows it in her head.
Yeah.
She doesn't feel it.
Yeah.
What she feels is the opposite, and that drives what your actions are. You can try going from your head all day long. What it would look like for Nicole is she would be like, okay, cool, I'm going to do the steps. And then she'd feel so strongly against it that she would just stop. Mm-hmm. But the coach is there you give that to them and you follow them. And there's going to be some stumble. She's for sure going to not do what the coach says for a little bit and go back and maybe struggle and argue. But eventually it'll get to the point where she knows it, where she actually knows it on the inside, not just in her head.
Yeah.
Our next caller is Elissa from California.
Hi, Elissa.
Hello.
Hey, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm talking to you guys in person. This is so weird. I listen to you every single day. My kids even know who you are. When I told them I was coming on, they were like, oh my gosh, it's the My Pup guys. So
Thank you so much for calling in.
How long you been in Oakdale for?
I've been here for about 3 years. I'm originally from Oklahoma, but I moved out of the Bay Area like 22 years ago. So I was like in Pleasanton, Dublin. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Bay Area.
Very familiar with all that. We're in the Bay Area, so we know all that.
We're in San Jose.
And I grew up in Oakdale.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, where are you at? What part of town are you at?
I'm kind of over on the east side, and I don't know if you know where the like Save Mart is in the old Kmart.
Yeah.
I'm kind of over in that area.
Yeah. My sister lived back over there for a while, right over where the junior high is back over there, right?
Yes. Yeah. The junior high is actually in my backyard.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
I can hear the band practicing every morning. So that's fun.
Well, how can we help you?
Well, I just thank you so much, first of all, because you guys have literally like changed the game for me. Like in the sea of like strength training and nutrition, health information, like you guys keep it real, and I trust you more than pretty much anybody on the internet, because it gets so confusing and overwhelming. But I'll just start off. My story is kind of complicated and long, so I'll just kind of shorten it for you. I'm 40, almost 46. I have dealt with anorexia nervosa pretty much my whole life, like since I was 10. So it's been a battle I've, carried forever. But been in treatment multiple times, in and out. Never really helped me. They'd put me in, feed me 4,000 calories plus, gain a bunch of weight, come home, feel gross, lose it again, over and over. What really helped me the most, I think, was when I was 13, my dad introduced me to strength training. He was always into bodybuilding, weightlifting, all of that. He took me to the gym and changed the game for me. I instantly fell in love. Like, it was back in the 90s, so girls weren't really like in the gym doing like, bodybuilding moves. And I was in there like, back squatting and,
Awesome.
all that stuff. And it changed my relationship with food and my body, because for the first time, food wasn't scary. It was something I needed to like get strong and build my body up.
Yeah.
And I wanted to get stronger, and it was amazing. Fast forward, I became a personal trainer in college, loved it. It just was something that, it kind of cured me from that anorexia for a while. Got married, had a kid, had twins, had another kid. And it just kind of, I'm a mom of 4 kids. So, going to the gym is not that easy when you're a mom with 4 little kids. So I stopped going to the gym, kind of in a bad marriage, just fell back in the old ways, the anorexia, and just kind of battled up and down for years. So fast forward, here I am now, and single mom, got 4 kids. They're all teenagers. And I'm kind of on my way back to recovering again. I'm not at a healthy weight. I know I need to gain weight, but I've lost a lot of muscle in all my years of restricting, and I'm sarcopenic, like extreme. Like I have 0 muscle mass right now. And I want to get back into strength training because I know how important muscle is, especially getting older. I don't want to be in my old age, fall, break a hip, and end up in the hospital. And, I listen to like Gabrielle Lyon, I listen to you guys, and like muscle's important. And for me, it's never like, I don't have body dysmorphia. Like I know I'm way too skinny, and I want to feel strong again. Like my kids have never seen me strong, and I miss that feeling. Like I can't even go to Costco by myself and get stuff because I can't lift anything. I have to get my teenagers to lift Amazon boxes off the porch, and I want to be strong again, but I don't know where to start because I haven't lifted, like I said, since my 18-year-old, before she was born. So, and I just feel so weak. Like I can barely do anything. Like I really have no muscle mass. Like, so I wanted to get you guys input on where to start. Like, I feel so intimidated. I have gym access. I have a gym right down the street, but I'm intimidated to go, like with my personal training history and everything, I kind of know what to do. I just, where I'm at now physically, I don't know where to go. I'm lost. Yeah. So that's why I wanted to, I trust you guys, and I just kind of wanted to see where you would put me.
Yeah, God bless you. I think we could help you with this. Did if it's okay, I'd like to ask you a few more questions.
Of course, yeah.
Did this start with body image issues, or was it a control thing when you started the relationship with anorexia?
I think it was kind of a little bit of both. It was started with body image, and then it turned into a control thing. Yeah. I never had any, I was a typical kid. I was like, I didn't think anything. I didn't even think about my body. I just kind of ate and did my thing, and had a friend like poke my belly when I still remember it. Like she poked my belly and said, "Oh, you've got a pot belly." And it was the first time I was like, "Oh, should I be thinking about my body?" And then that kind of cascaded into, a diet and restricting. And then it just went from there. Yeah. And then from there, it kind of became a control thing. Like in times of stress, that's kind of when the anorexia rears its head. It's like, this is my way to kind of control something in my life because everything else is out of control. And so, so yeah.
It's that comforting friend.
It is, yeah. It's no dysfunctional friend.
Exactly. It's no different than somebody going to alcohol for that, that kind of that relief. Or
great awareness around all that.
And it sounds like you're ready to care for yourself.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
That's exciting. Yeah,
so here, I'll give you some advice. So I totally hear you with the intimidation with the gym. And so I think a step-by-step approach is the best. I think with a good routine that you could do at home to start with would be great to build some strength and confidence before going back to the gym. Do you have anything at home like dumbbells, suspension trainer, resistance bands, anything like that?
Yeah, I've got a set of 15-pound dumbbells, and I've got a 45-pound kettlebell.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great. I think MAP Starter would be a good program to start with.
Okay.
I also think MAP Suspension would be a good program. And what I'm going to do, we don't normally do this, Elissa. You don't have a suspension trainer?
I don't know.
Okay, we're going to send you a suspension trainer, and I'm also going to send you MAP Suspension.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So you'll have two options. You'll have MAP Starter and MAP Suspension, and they're both great at-home programs. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think doing a little bit daily is a good idea in combination with some of the changes in diet. Have you made any dietary changes?
Not really. I'm kind of stuck right now. I'm like a very low calorie. I'm about 1,500 calories, but I'm slowly gaining on that. I think I've suppressed my metabolism so much. And because I don't have any muscle, like I just, I barely have any. I just feel like I can't eat without, really gaining weight. And I know I need to eat to build any muscle.
So all the stuff up here. But we got to get you to feel it, because if you do the right things, but you don't feel right about it, it's gonna be very difficult to stick to. So, and how do we get there? You're gonna have to not weigh yourself. So I'm gonna need you to get rid of your scale. I mean, literally get rid of it. Not have a scale in your house. So throw it away, and not study yourself in the mirror. In fact, ignore your reflection in the mirror, because it's going to mess with you. And you're going to have to consciously think about how you feel and think about your strength. What I mean by how you feel is not like I feel gross, but try to pick out the strength, the energy, and the mobility. And you're going to have to consciously think about those things, because your nature is to not. Your nature is going to be to think about how I look, the scale, and am I feeling fatter? Do I feel bloated? Do my stomach is full? Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be, you have to retrain your focus. What you focus on is what you see. And there's lots and lots of data to support this. So several times a day, you're going to have to think about strength, think about energy, think about how much weight I'm moving, mobility, and just focus on that. And when you find yourself thinking about the other stuff, instead of not thinking about that, good luck. It's like, don't think about a zebra. Now you're thinking about a zebra. Is you're going to have to think about strength, think about mobility, think about energy. And then that slowly should get you to this point where you start to feel confident and go back to the gym. Diet-wise, you're going to have to completely ignore your systems, your feeling of satiety and fullness. So because your relationship to that right now, if I tell you to listen to your body from that standpoint, you're going to keep eating little. So you're going to kind of have to eat in an uncomfortable way. So you're going to have to kind of seek that out a little bit. Like, I'm going to eat until I'm really full. And then I'm going to eat until I'm really full. Now, working with a coach would be very beneficial for someone like you to kind of help you through this process. You can kind of outsource some of that trust. I don't know how feasible that is for you. I know you're about an hour and a half away from us. I'd like to invite you into our studio just to meet with us. You can listen to a live episode. I can introduce you to some of our trainers. And even if you were to visit us every other month and meet a trainer here, I think that would be beneficial. Or you could do something more consistent where you work with one of our coaches virtually, and they can kind of help through this process. I think that would really, really be helpful. But
that would be awesome.
But I'm going to send you those 2 programs. I'm going to mail you a suspension trainer. And then if you'd like, I can have one of our coaches call you and then see if any of that works for you to be able to kind of walk you through this process.
That would be so great. Thank you so much. Because I just feel kind of lost right now, but that would be a game changer. So oh my gosh, thank you so much.
You're actually in a great place mentally. You're in the right place. You've self-awareness is incredible. You know where you need to go. Sounds like you're willing to outsource that to somebody else, guide you through that process. We'll take care of you.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll take care of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
You're going to do great.
I do. I just want to feel healthy, like it's not about like body image anymore. It's about like just being strong and healthy for my future and for my kids and to be a good example. I've got 2 daughters and, I want to show them what it's like to be a strong woman. And, I don't want to be this weak little thing anymore,
That's badass. That's badass. And that's an awesome
on
goal.
you.
Elissa, if I had one of your daughters on here and I asked them, how much do you love your mom? What would they say?
Oh man, I think they love me a lot. Yeah.
I want you to look through their eyes at yourself and try to care for yourself like they would. And it's going to be counter to what you used to, but I think that'll help direct you in the meantime.
That's why I love your.
How do my daughters think of me?
I love that. I love that being your goal. I love that it's not. It's a selfless. It's you.
Yes.
I want to show my daughters. That is what's going to motivate. That's what's going to put you through the uncomfortable times of when a trainer tells you, "I need you to eat 2,000 calories," and you're like, "Oh my god, that feels so much," or "I'm stuffed. I don't like it." And like, if you just keep remembering why you're doing this, you're going to be fine.
That's right.
You're going to get through this. This will be good.
Absolutely. I've got my 18-year-old daughter. She's not going. She's taking a gap year, and she's here with me all the time. And she asked me that. She's like, "Mom, we should start going to the gym."
Yeah.
And I was like, "We should." She's really interested in it. So I think that would be motivation too. To
Hell yeah.
Include
maybe get strong with her.
Process.
Yes,
Include them in this process. That support is going to help so much.
Yep.
I'm going to have someone reach out to you. In the meantime, we're going to mail you the suspension trainer. You'll get the 2 programs. And then I hope to see you. I know we're not too far from you, so I hope we get a chance to meet you and you can come in.
I would love to come up and visit. I would love that.
Okay.
Awesome. We'll set it up, Elissa.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Right.
You guys are just the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll be in touch.
Thanks for everything you do. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Well, I'm glad. That's good motivation.
Great attitude.
That's great motivation.
Great attitude.
Perfect place.
Great place. Wow, man, we got 2 today like that.
Transform. Yep.
Again, it seems so like the simple answer: jump to 2,000 to 2,300 calories, lift weights 3 times a day or 3 times a week, and like solves everything. But it's like that is to get there.
Any severe challenge,
mental battle to get
by the way,
there.
for people listening right now who are like, "Oh, it's just do this."
Yeah, it's not.
You got your stuff. Everybody does that thing you can't stop, and the answer is stop doing it, and you can't.
Yeah,
that's what they're dealing with, and it's very difficult. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel. It's just a process.
Yeah.
Our next caller is Sara from California.
Hi, Sara.
How you doing, Sara?
Hi guys. Oh my God, I'm so pumped to be talking to you. This is crazy. I'm so inspired by everything you've been doing. Like, it's so clear how much you want to help people. So you guys have actually inspired me to go through the NASM certification and consider like a career change or a side gig in personal training down the line. So thank you so much for everything you do.
Yeah, thank you. How can we help you?
Okay, so my question, I'll just read it here. So I've been working out since I was 14 when I got my first gym membership at a 24-hour fitness here in the Bay. I'm 43 now. I know that I'm a bit orthorexic and I definitely have an addiction to exercise, but I both look and feel great. I look better, I think, now, and I'm more fit now than when I was in my 20s or 30s. And I just never have felt like I looked the way that I do before. And I also just really love training and movement outside, running, cycling, hiking, walking, you name it. But I definitely overdo it. So my question is this going to for sure bite me in the ass at some point? Or do you guys think that I continue as is, as long as I'm feeling great? And I guess I should also mention that I've been using a variety of peptides for several years, which I know help me train better and recover better and faster. So I guess my hope is that the addition of these tools to my toolbox means I can do more and push a bit harder without the same repercussions. But I'm curious what you guys think, and I would love your thoughts.
Let's peer a little into what the training looks like. Like how much training volume are you tracking steps? Like, what's it look like for a week?
Yeah, I mean, it's like basically all of my free time I'm training, or a lot of it is outdoors, but 5 days a week I'm doing like an hour to an hour and a half of strength training. Is pretty intense. And then like anywhere from 3 to 5 hours of just cycling or running or hiking. Okay, yeah. Like, it's a lot. When I say it out loud, it actually sounds totally ridiculous, but like, I love it too. I just love being outdoors, and I think mentally it helps my mental health a lot too. And I just feel like I have a lot of my best thoughts and ideas while I'm outside. So there's that, but there's also just a compulsion too, right? Yeah. Which I love that.
I love walking and hiking outside. That's awesome. Cycling and running can be okay, can get intense though really quickly. So, but hiking and walking outside for mental clarity, being outside, I'm all pro that. Definitely. So you're doing that. Strength training 5 days a week could be okay, but if you say it's really intense in an hour and a half, that's a lot. That's
overkill.
Way overdoing it.
By the way you answer this question will help me determine if I can help with this. So why do you think there's some orthorexia or compulsion?
Because I can't remember the last day I didn't do like at least a few hours of activity. Mm-hmm. And if I don't get that in, like I don't feel normal.
Okay. How do you feel about that?
Right now I'm at a point in my life where it's okay. Like I'm single right now, so I don't have a partner I need to be giving time to. I don't have kids. But like, what if that happens soon, or I switch jobs and I just literally can't do it? I think I'm going to just feel awful. And like, that's not healthy, to like not feel good or be freaked out on a day where I, don't work out a lot. Like that's not healthy. Like that's dependence.
Yeah. So you feel like it's controlling you?
Yeah, a little bit. Okay. And I think for a long time, I really convinced myself, no, it's just that I love it. But I'm like, especially actually since I've been listening to you guys, I've kind of been realizing this isn't just that I love it. Yeah. There's a little bit more to it.
Good for you. Well, a lot of people do. That's what people do continue to say.
Yeah. And look, I just, forgive me for my brevity, but alcoholics love their alcohol. And so they say they like it, they enjoy it. And I think you're getting a little bit of awareness that this thing is controlling you, but it doesn't sound like you're at the place where you could change it yet, because you're also saying, I love it, I like it, it's like my favorite thing.
I look great, I feel great.
But then you're like, it's controlling me. Yeah. This might be an issue. So, I could tell you from the outside, it definitely is an issue, and you're doing way too much. The question is, can you change it?
And do you want to change it bad enough?
That's right.
Because eventually, how you start this question is right. Eventually, you'll be forced to.
It's going to bite you.
Eventually, hormonal bone stuff. You'll that starts.
Life is going to happen.
Yeah, Yeah. And so the answer is yes, eventually your body will force you to. It's a question of, do you have the motivation to change it right now, especially when you like the way you look, like the way you feel, and you say you enjoy all those things. That's, to Sal's point, that's really tough to.
It really sucks to be forced to change it when something happens. That sucks.
Yeah.
To change it ahead of time is hard, but is way better.
Yeah, it's better.
Because what'll happen at some point is something's going to happen and you can't do all that stuff, or something's going to happen physically or mentally, and then you're going to be like, oh my God,
some breaking.
I have to come out of it. But it could be a number of different things, but at some point, this thing that's controlling you, that you're kind of like, I think it's controlling me. At some point, you're going to be forced to have to make a decision. And then that's the hardest. That's hard when it's like in your face. Where you're at now is actually an easier place to make those changes. So it really is up to how, and you really have to talk about it in a way to yourself that's honest. Because what I hear, and I know I hear this because I talk this way, okay? Because I know what you feel like, okay? You are me, okay? In this regard.
I know. I've heard a lot of
As it's coming out of your mouth, you're trying to give yourself escape. Like, ooh, it's this thing that's controlling, but I love it. Ooh, it might not be so good for me, but I can do it. Ooh, but I look good and I feel good. And so it's like you're afraid to say to yourself, this is a problem and it needs to get fixed. Because if you say that, then you have to change it. So you're like, maybe not. So that's kind of where you're at with it right now.
Well, are you at a place where you'd be open to even outsourcing it? In other words, hiring a coach to tell you what you need to do and then following it?
Just doing what they tell you?
Yeah, I mean, here's another thing. Like, so I haven't always been as fit and looked as good. And so being at a point where I finally feel like I love my body now, and this was not always the case, you know? Yeah. And so I've been through different iterations of my body. And so, you know, would I be willing to totally scale back on exercise? Yes. If I was able to like mostly keep the body that I now have.
You absolutely can. You absolutely can. You absolutely can.
That's the misconception.
That would actually be, so if I was coaching, that's the easiest part. You've built the physique you like, and you're like, Adam, I like the way I look. It's like, cool. Let me show you a way easier way to maintain that look.
Like, if anything, you'll improve.
You will. It does not take 5 days, an hour and a half of training.
Let me put it to you this way: you look as fit as you do, in spite of all the wrong stuff that you're doing.
Right.
And you're putting a lot of peptide bandages and stuff like that on it to keep the ball rolling. You'll actually look better.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're afraid of, don't worry.
No,
I mean, that is what I'm afraid of for sure, right? Because like I've been 25 pounds heavier and like didn't get looks or compliments, and now I'm at the gym and I'm like that crazy chick who's like busting her ass, but I get complimented. You know, I get women complimenting me on my arms, which is awesome, and I used to hate my arms. So like, if I can keep all that and do way less, I'm definitely like at a point where
Sarah,
you're totally Sal.
Sarah, listen to me. No, I don't do it for compliment. I get no compliment.
Salina,
Sarah.
That's why he wears that wife beater in the gym all the time.
Sarah, I thought it was wife. It was like a wife. So you changed the name of it recently.
Wife pleaser.
The wife pleaser.
Which sounds just as bad somehow.
Rib tank top.
Sarah, you're already a valuable person.
Yeah.
You're already worthwhile.
Yeah.
All that outside whatever it's meaningless.
Yeah.
You're already worthwhile. You're already great, and you don't need all that. You really don't. And in fact, it's keeping you trapped.
Yeah.
But if you want, look, here's the deal, okay? Because we'll answer your question. Are you going to like suddenly your body's going to change in a negative? No, it's not going to happen. You'll get as great or better results with way less work.
Yep.
But I also don't want you to focus on that, because that's also going to steer you in the wrong direction. So, I mean, a coach would really be helpful, but you've got to be in a place to where you're okay with that, where you're going to let go and be like, okay, this is really a problem I want to address. If you're not there yet, then it wouldn't help you.
Yeah. I think I'm in that contemplation stage of change still. But I feel like I'm getting closer to having a mindset of readiness.
You know what you could do? Try this. This is what I'm doing right now. So, because I've been on and off with this forever, sometimes better, sometimes worse. I started doing where every other week I don't do any. So this is for me. This wouldn't look like it for you, but for me, every other week I do 0 to no, almost no strength training, and I just do cardio because that's the thing for me is the
walking.
strength
He
training.
should say he doesn't do cardio.
I just do walking.
Yeah.
Okay. So maybe it looks like this for you. Instead of what you do every single day, maybe it's like, okay, on Wednesday and Friday, I'm cutting it way down, and then wait, and then see what happens, and then slowly step ladder yourself towards doing less. Maybe it's one day. Maybe it could be like, all right, Fridays, instead of doing an hour and a half of strength training and all this cardio, maybe it's like I'm going to do nothing, or I'm going to just go for a hike or something like that and keep it light, because you could also turn that into, crazy, and just step ladder yourself. For me, it's every other week because that seems to be what I can do right now.
How is your thought process and your mental health as you go through this?
He sucks at it, so I don't know why he's talking about it.
No.
I just started. He needs a coach. You need a coach.
Yeah,
that's why.
I just started it, and so this is week 2. So I just got into it. But what helped me was on the week I'm not strength training, I'm listening to books that I'm really interested in. So I look forward to that. So I walk on the treadmill and I listen to a book, because just doing nothing is too big of a bite for me. So I'm like, okay, so every other week so maybe there's something else that you're really interested in that you really like to do, whether it's a book or you go, it's just something that's not exercise. And then, because not doing something is hard, but doing something else in replace of it is easier. So maybe it's yin yoga. Yin yoga would be great for someone.
The hardest part, Sara, if I was coaching you, the hardest part is I'm going to tell you that I absolutely can keep the body, or even better if you wanted, but I also simultaneously need you to let go of that at the same time. That's the hard part. So it's like I could guarantee you as the coach, I could say, hey, don't worry, I'll keep this body the way it is, or maybe even improve it. But I also need you to just trust me and let it go while we do this. And so that part, that letting go process, that's the hard part. And that's the part that you have to separate from. That's what this guy is still struggling with, is completely letting go of that. And going a total different direction. He's easing himself in with the walking stuff. But so what my journey looked like years ago is like part of like getting into a whole different modality. Like let go of the jacked look. I can go get that anytime I want. And you can too. You've already proven that. Mm-hmm. You've proven you have the ability to go get that. So now try and train yourself. Can I let it go? It doesn't mean be unhealthy and I'm saying get fat. I'm just saying let that focus go. And focus on something else for a while, and know that you got that in your back pocket if you ever need to. That's the growth part right here on your journey that you need to get through. And that on the other side of that is a healthier version of you, a fitter version of you, and way less control and effort towards it.
All right, Sara, how's your social life with friendships and stuff, or does it all revolve around the gym?
I mean, right now, there's not much, but I just got back to the Bay after living abroad for a couple of years. And also, like, I went to Burning Man for 10 years. And so my previous life was like a bit of a partier, and all my friends love to party, and I want nothing to do with that. So I think I've just kind of shifted that all my energy into like health and fitness, but now I've overdone it,
Yeah. Well, I mean that's another thing that could help is seek out kind of social
find your community.
Yeah, social community. For me, it's my church. That's actually helped me quite a bit. And that's the other thing too, because otherwise you have all this time on your hands, and you're like, I'm going to go to the gym because I like doing that.
I know.
Yeah.
I'd love to see you get coached. I know you say you're contemplating right now, but a good coach for a good.
I'm getting closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Well, if you're like, okay, I'm ready to do that, you let us know. We got some great coaches here. You're not far from us either, by the way. So you can you could even do personal training here on occasion.
Yep.
Like once a week or once every other week, and actually come into the studio and work with one of our trainers.
Oh, that'd be awesome. I would love that.
Yeah.
Would you?
Yeah.
You want somebody to call you?
Absolutely. Yeah, why not? Yes.
All right, let's do that. And we'll see you because we're here.
We'll get you down here, Sara.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for your time and for everything you do. I appreciate it.
You got it. Thanks.
Okay. Bye. Cheers.
She also works for the Enhanced Games. Did you see that?
I did see
that.
She
seeks out talent
PR for the
Shut up
for the marketing.
Oh, that's cool. Oh, that's good. I hope she comes down here then.
Which also makes it more difficult because you're working in the Enhanced Games.
It's kind of a skewed environment.
Yeah.
I mean,
I know. Listen, if I didn't have kids and a wife and all that stuff, I mean, that I know
live in the
exactly.
gym.
That's what I would do
you
all the
never
time.
leave. Yeah.
Because you got to find other things that you can replace it with.
What are you talking about? You still already do.
I don't go. I'm not 3 hours
He
a day.
interrupts it.
Well, no, okay.
I'm saying if I had,
Yeah, but you'd never miss.
yeah, but it's my point is I'd be 3 hours a day if I didn't have
you'd
that
be
stuff.
even worse.
Yeah, you'd be all
exactly.
day.
even more, even more crazy.
That's right.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, still at that place where this is where it's hard. When again, and I think this is the exact same challenge that you feel with it is you're healthy, you're fit, you look good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's really tough to tell somebody to break that when they have all these positive things that they have felt from it, and their body's not screaming at them.
That's right.
And telling them they can't do that. But there's also other sides of this. Sometimes too, it's not just dysfunction on that side. It can become dysfunctional in your social and your.
That's why I asked her.
Yeah,
Because she probably doesn't have
like
social
this.
life. You can't work out that much and not have. I mean, and if you don't have that and you feel kind of lonely, or
and what happens is that person ends up that type of person. Lots of friends and been close to like this. You either don't, or you find another person with the same issue.
Of course.
And then you both obsess over it together. And that's why we see so many people in the fitness space that are both bikini competitor and bodybuilder, together because they share this addiction together because they can't date anybody else that is at all balanced because it doesn't work. So they have no idea, and they tell themselves they're so in love and they have all this in common when it's like, yeah, you have this unhealthy relationship with exercise that's in common. And so got to break free of that or you'll have a really hard time connecting to somebody who doesn't want to take 3 hours of walk a day and an hour and a half training sessions every single day and measure every food they eat.
Totally. All right, I know you liked that episode. If you did, check this one out. Stop doing 3 sets of 12 to build muscle and do this instead. You guys want to guess?
Stop doing the 3 sets of 12 and do this instead. With that intro, my guess is you're going to tell people to change the rep range
5
up
by
to 5 by 5 or low rep range.
Do you guys remember
the
when
angle you're going?
Yeah, so oftentimes we get stuck in like a set count and a rep count or a range that's